So before we get into the beginning of the end here,
I'm gonna miss the
I'll
rocks.
take a moment to thank Paizo. Not only, of course, sponsoring the show here on their channel, twitch.tv/official Paizo, if you're watching or hearing this anywhere else, and providing the adventure through this neat anniversary edition of The Curse of the Crimson Throne that has all 6 of the books together in one guide. It's much easier to manage than a stack of 6 bespoke books. But also, obviously, for making the entire freaking game that we're playing. I mean, all these cool bestiary cards with these weird little gross gnome guys. And the hero point cards and everything else. The chase deck.
The chase deck.
The chase deck.
The
That was
chase
really
deck
good.
is the bomb.
Definitely the highlight of this one so far was the chase deck.
The
That
race
was
deck.
so cool.
I want to go back to the chase deck.
So next we
I gotta
implement...
shoehorn a chase into every adventure from now on. This
next
is too fun.
we implement the critical success and failure decks.
No.
I don't want to die.
No, please no.
I would not be a
Please.
terrible channel player lord, honestly. To turn
Oh,
on,
that's
like,
a good idea.
one critical
Yes.
success or failure for somebody. It's just
Someone
like,
goes,
next
puts it
time
up, it's like
happens.
sword of Damocles appears over the table. Oh god.
But also to some of our other sponsors, Norse Foundry for a fantastic dice that we hopefully get to display a decent amount throughout these adventures with our new fancy dice cams that we got also thanks to them. We can finally get to highlight Arkenforge. This has not been a terribly map and combat heavy adventure in The Curse of the Crimson Throne. I have no complaints about that whatsoever, but it means we haven't gotten to show off a ton of Arkenforgery other than it holding the art assets for the characters. But the one we're really going to get to dig into today that I personally am super excited for and works out. We were excited for the chase deck a couple episodes ago. I'm excited for Sirenscape's freaking sound set for the end of this. If you're not familiar with Sirenscape yet, it's all of our music, all of our sound effects. We get to use official sound sets this time because they have those for Crimson Throne. So all the audio, it's not our voices, is through through Sirenscape for all of the Crimson Throne so far. We've usually still had outsourced music because we've been making custom ones ourselves. But even that's on their end. And they have a really frickin' cool setup for the end of this book.
Ooh.
That I am super excited for.
I'm excited.
It may not be Machine Gun Golem Fist.
That's
But
sad.
it's pretty cool. We have survived a lot, if in some cases only barely, in the last few days and weeks in Corvosa. Death of a king, riots in the streets, madness taking much of the city. After signing up to help the Corvosan Guard, we've been able to quell more threats to the city of Corvosa where they arrived, or hopefully before they arrived in most cases. And our most recent journey has taken us into the Dead Warrens, catacombs beneath the Grey District, the cemeteries of the city.
Did you add an U?
Where
Yeah, it's catacombs.
Doing it on purpose. Ignore
and
him.
He
the
hates
deeps of
me.
these, the
Catacombs.
deeps of this mausoleum, underneath the ER.
Haslam.
Stop it.
Where's your ex?
He tried to stay professional.
The Shoanti people that used to settle these lands have a wide array of burial crypts. Burial crypts that have been commandeered by a necromancer known as Rolth. Rolth Lamb, a close relative of someone that you all knew decently well.
Yeah, good acquaintances.
He's a
The
real
one
nice,
that brought us together in the first place.
real nice guy.
And as we left off last week, finally pressed with, well, something beyond simply keeping the peace in the streets above, fighting through undead, a wizard's lair well prepared to guard against intruders. It's been thrown into stark relief just how tenuous our relationship is. We were all brought together by one single purpose, and that was to exact vengeance on Gaedren, Lamb, Rolf's father. That's the only tie that our party has. And seemingly barely able to survive the machinations of his son down here. That singular kind of feeble thread definitely starting to fray
I'm just here for Wrath.
a good bit.
I'm here and there's gun I found I'm using. It's fun.
At
I gotta
the
get back mad at John again. Yeah.
Shouldn't be hard. Everyone's mad
mean,
at John.
Stupid head.
Leaving off on that and then having to come back a week later and get right
You
back
gotta
into
get
it.
back.
I know, I get right back into being indignant and angry.
That was big character. And I believe we are starting off with Darren literally just booting open the door at the end of this poisonous hallway, this enchanted, trap-filled gauntlet of acidic skulls. And as you blast this stone door open, knocking it free from one of its ancient hinges, you reveal what looks to be an alchemy lab. A bit of a larger chamber with a few wooden tables heaped with equipment, 3 cauldrons in the back corner, and one very startled looking one of these blue-skinned gnome creatures near the center of the room.
Just one guy?
Just one that you see. And this door, obviously exploding inward, you see him and he kind of starts and jumps. And you see that the table behind him is smashed clean down the middle. Like WWE style, like somebody slammed through it, but it is a full-bodied desk, not just the top of a table that has been obliterated. All of the paraphernalia atop it shattered and destroyed. Shards of glass and strange colored liquids fraught across the tiles of this room. He literally has a little dustpan and a hand broom. He looks over at the door as you kick it open. And starts looking around, scrambling for a weapon. Casting these 2 things aside. The rest of you, coming up behind Darren here, would see this shortly after he did. What do you guys do?
Rolling initiative, presumably. Or I'm going to shoot him if I'm not in initiative.
Shoot him, Lawrence!
Hunt prey, shoot him.
Maybe an attack roll!
But he's just cleaning. That's a nat 20, isn't it?
It is not a nat 20, but it is a 22.
As this one here does not currently sport any armor or anything, is just kind of scrambling around on his hands and knees, 22 is going to crit him.
Really?
Why are you killing the
You
cleaning
have to
lady?
figure out what a gun crit does.
I don't, actually, because
It's
I don't.
a lot of damage.
I don't have fatal on the gun sword.
Really?
Really?
You have the gun part of the gun.
I don't have the big boom part of the big boom gun. I can't have a big boom and a gun and a sword all in the same package.
Yeah, you can. Just say the book said so.
Oh, cheat. Oh, yeah. Give me a bunch of D12s.
All right, here you go. Here's 3 of them.
All right, so we've got...
That still looks like some decent damage.
That's some decent damage. See, that's 11, 12, 13, 26.
26, you shoot this small little creature and like knock him flat into the broken alchemy equipment and the wreckage of the table behind him. The rest of you, as Darren kicks the door open, you immediately hear a gunshot. What do the rest of you do?
I'm rolling right behind him, and I'm getting a fireball ready.
Okay.
I
You throwing it? You could throw it.
Do I see the dude?
Yeah, you'd see him get shot and fall on the table and just
Don't
pain expression on his face, writhing silently.
That is a 23. Oh, I'm sorry, 25 because goblin powers.
Final crit him.
Who's the murderer now?
Who's the murderer now? What are you talking about? These people have been jumping us the entire time.
No, they didn't jump you.
This is the
Because I
cleaning-
shot them first.
This is literally like the cleaning staff.
Yeah.
Jump the jumper.
That's going to be 28 damage altogether, and then he takes persistent fire damage.
And as you hit him with that, he just collapses into a smoldering little heap in this wreckage at the southern half of the room. And you would briefly hear
Why?
in Undercommon, he calls out, what just sounds almost like kind of a peep to the rest of you, Bring! And then die. How confident are you in your Undercommon?
Really, more confident than I am in my
Stone
Varisian.
Druids, that's fair. It's definitely not a word you don't know, it's certainly a name.
He called out for Frigg, and why are we killing people?
Well,
You do understand these people have been jumping us every single room.
Yeah, but there's alchemical equipment back there. Why are we trying to light things on fire? That seems like a really bad idea.
I mean, that's
And at that
one of the only...
point, This burning corpse, almost as if to accent that, you see a bit of flame run out across one of these mixed liquids on the ground and then pop. It doesn't explode, it pops, almost like a balloon, with a little flash of shimmering, almost glittering energy. I need Floblin and Darren to make me a will save.
That's right.
Breath based.
I'll give you, yeah.
Okay.
That is a 27.
You're fine. He doesn't care.
17.
17.
Technically, actually, breath control makes that an 18.
And it's crit success on a success.
So then you both kind of feel this, and it's a little briefly dizzying, but it's almost like a weird of
Just
sparkling
inhaling
blue
mustard gas. What could
confetti
possibly
through
go
the room, which quickly settles down, giving all of the surfaces in the chamber muted kind of sparkling, like someone dumped glitter 3 days ago, sort of appearance.
That's not
Floblin immediately is like, sparkly things, I don't like it. Stop it.
Then don't light alchemical paraphernalia on fire.
That's the only way I can kill things, really, unless I throw my sickle at them.
Why we don't have to kill things if we don't talk to them? How are
They
we
don't
gonna
want
know?
to kill us first.
We've been trying to talk to them the whole time. They just shout gibberish back at us.
I speak uncommon.
You're the only one who can speak to them.
You can talk to these things?
Yes.
What have they been saying?
It's been difficult to say because you keep killing them before I can talk to them.
I mean, it's not really our fault that we, are just
Are
doing our job.
murderers?
I mean, you did talk down the dog. Maybe we should give you a chance.
Thank you. And I can actually speak their language, unlike the dog, where it's just I mean, I sometimes am okay with dogs. I'm better with cats.
If you want to try talking to them, I ain't going to stop you.
I would really like to talk to them.
But it ain't going to stop me from shooting them as soon as they stab you.
That's fine.
I mean, I was going to ask John's opinion, but we already know the answer.
He was unarmed. He literally had a broom and dustpan on him.
He was running for his weapon. It was over there.
I feel like they're the maintenance staff. I feel like you just killed the maintenance staff.
Was he running for a weapon?
You would see both one of these strange roped angry bananas, I believe is what we decided on was the technical term.
Yeah.
For their weapon. This is carved stoned little club with this somewhat bladed edge on the underside. A long black cable extending out from the end to a small weight. Sat on the table in front of him, kind of coiled up, and on the floor next to it, one of their small crude crossbows.
See? He was a guard. The crossbow isn't good for picking up broken glass. He would have shot me if I'd let him get
An
that.
unarmored guard.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, it doesn't mean he was a smart guard.
I
fair.
haven't seen very many of them be that heavily armored anyway. I guess we should let me check out that stuff. Reth, you want to come look at it with me? I want to make sure it doesn't blow up behind us.
I'm not so sure we should be messing with any of that now that half it's burnt up, but
I just want to look at it.
The body and this wreckage at the southern table is still burning from Floblin's hit, and some of the liquids around it also are burning on their surface with myriad colors. They're not all burning red. Some of these strange oils and concoctions have tinted almost purple or more orange. Some even burning an outlandish sort of green flame. What little bits they catch. None of what's left seems to be exceptionally flammable.
Okay.
But it is all kind of mixed together in a pile of crap on the floor, so it's difficult to quickly tell if this could suddenly become worse. The middle table and the north table, as well as 2 of the 3 cauldrons at the far end of the room, are still intact, covered with a wide array of equipment. And mixed with this kind of smell of burning weird goblin skin and hair is an almost rotting, rancid odor coming from the third of these cauldrons that is almost totally upended with a thick, white goop that has seeped out of it across the floor, almost like unset glue.
Take a closer look at that.
Give me a crafting check, and what are the rest of you doing?
Reth, don't you carry an extra medical kit with you?
yeah.
Some medicines or some things like that.
Yeah.
Can I
just in
borrow
case. You want to borrow it or you want me to use it on you?
You can use it on me, I can use it on myself. I don't feel well. I mean, Floblin did a very well job of helping the superficial burns from the corrosive acid, but having your throat crushed in by a little weird goblin doesn't help any.
It's going to take a minute, but I could take a look at the both of you if you need it.
Remind me who was seeking. You're currently looking through things. Other than
I'm
Arden,
seeking.
you were also seeking? Give me a perception check, Darren.
21.
The 21 looking around, you would find actually quite a few little different bits. While Wrath and John are sitting down and Arden is trying to make sure the room's not about to explode or fill with mustard gas, that seem to be...
I have ward medic. I can treat both of them.
Both of who?
Both of you.
I'm fine.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
He also treated himself, so he's
Okay.
treated right now.
Oh, true.
That seem to be finished products. There are quite a few different bottles. Their labels written in weird, crude little angular runes. It's definitely a language you haven't seen before, but they are in fact labeled. Most of them, though. If I wasn't clear, there's two of those that have those strange little labels. Most of what you find is actually has a well-scripted, like white paper adhesive label on them, like something you would find a proper clinic or apothecary of some sort, written out in Common, written out in Taldane, and even properly noted with some of its contents, ingredients, and various warnings.
Dosage directions.
Take twice, take twice daily.
Drink in one gulp. It says that for every single one of them.
Every potion in Galarian. Consume once, all simultaneously.
It either says consume or make enemy consume.
So you'd find two small unlabeled little clay pot tinctures. You would find three in like glass. I don't know what the name of those kind of triangular vials are. I know they have a name.
Are they
like those
sealed?
flat-bottomed, kind
Like-
of sealed
Like an ampule?
beakers, ampules.
A
maybe.
beaker is
Oh,
what
a
you're-
flask?
A flask.
Is what you're thinking?
Yeah, they're fairly large actually,
Mayan
but
flask.
have like
Do you have to
this-
break them to open them?
No.
Then
Okay,
it's
it's
a
not an
flask.
ampule.
Then
That
it's a
sounds like a
flask.
flask.
Strangely small amount of liquid on them that are labeled as alchemical elixirs of life. They're actually 3 lesser elixirs of life.
18.
You would also find 4 rather, much smaller, like little metal thimbles with black wax caps, labeled of snake venom, blackadder poison. As well as one more potion, non-alchemical in nature. It looks like it was brought here, not produced. A sealed potion of invisibility. Additionally, there would be 2 small little paper sacks that are moderate tanglefoot bags, also labeled, as well as a pair of what look like faintly glowing greenish metal little tin spheres, about the size of a thumbnail, that are unlabeled but appear to be magical in nature. Perhaps this is just potent alchemy. I mean, would you know the difference? Are you trained in crafting?
Oh, no.
Then they're like magical or alchemical.
Mystery
of some
spheres
kind.
times 2.
Mystery ball.
Yep.
With your craft check, Arden, looking through all this is fairly high level and organized things here, and there's no way you could quickly assess what is present or if this is dangerous or what exactly is going on.
Can you
But
read this weird language in addition to understand it?
I don't know. Let me see.
You don't know if you can read. Can you read this one? The 2 mystery potions that we got at the beginning.
Certainly scrawled under common, and you would see these labels are much more crude. The label simply says no rat, less spider.
So rat poison.
No rat, comma, less spider.
They put the comma. How polite. The Oxford comma.
Not good.
I'm not sure how useful the label is going to be, but I can read it. It says no rat, less spider.
And each of these clay flasks would be much larger around that you could hold in your hand, and they don't seem to be a liquid. They're viscous, almost like a brown Vaseline, rather than like a thick paste.
Oh,
inside
maybe
each
it's
of these.
maybe it's to stop spiders. Maybe it'll catch them. Like if you spread it on the ground, maybe that's what they mean.
Huh.
Flavin, what are you doing?
Well, as I'm coming into the building and seeing what everyone else is doing, I suppose I'm going to look around and see what other exits or what other rooms might be available.
You can see there's definitely 2 ways to proceed out from here. There is another like rough-hewn passageway out the eastern wall closer to this smash table that just tunnels its way back in these small holes through the stone. Oh, this one has been cut a little larger, but not any wider, just a little taller. There is a door set into this chamber, which the room itself is another one of these properly squared off. Looks like it's probably been here since the before times kind of things. To a stout wooden door that has very hastily had a couple of boards just hammered across its frame on this side. No real other indication of what or why, but they would definitely have to be removed before the door could be opened. The Eastern Passage has like no door at all.
And this is to the hallway to.
This is south.
South,
There's also just an opening in the hallway to the east.
Okay.
So, Rhett, do you want to give me a medicine check here for John?
Well, I got to roll a d8 first.
Risky surgery.
Risky surgery.
I found a flask of alchemical fire, and I reckon some of those cuts right there would be cauterized real easy.
What's the DA for?
Risky surgery. You have to do D8 damage.
D8 damage, in addition to what you heal.
But you get a +2 to your medicine roll, and on top of that, a success is a critical.
Okay.
And I'm going for expert.
Okay.
3 damage.
Okay.
This burns a little bit. I'm sorry. I know. Ain't gonna be quite as nice as whiskey in a cut, but
Dead staring at you the entire time. I have lost my sense of pain right now from all the acid. Actually.
Medicine check. Expert, you said?
Oh, nat 20.
Expert, he said.
Well, the risky surgery didn't matter, but he will get 4d8 plus 10 anyway.
oh god, of course.
It may burn a little bit, but he seems like he knows what he's doing.
I trust Russ.
I hate you.
So here's
Skin
2. That's an 8 and a 4, so 12. 17 plus 10, or yes,
27.
27 total.
27 total.
That's not bad.
That's a good
That's
chunk.
pretty decent heal, I bet, to John while you're looking
Well,
It's
Surgery,
better
nat
than
20.
being
Well, he's-
at 1.
while he's doing that, I have quick identification. So because it's taking him 10 minutes, could I take a look at the little green things?
Yeah, give me a nature check.
Nature? That's what
It's
druids do
magical
best.
tradition, I assume. Yeah, it's just a non...
Yeah, that's your tradition.
That is going to be a 21.
21. The pair of these little tin spheres are completely full. You can just barely tell the way that they kind of balance, the way their weight distributes as they move. There's a liquid in these, and there's a lot. They're almost totally full of something. And this minor glow that they're giving off is an alchemical property of the metal itself that stops it from being corroded or dissolved in any way. These are 2 bullets. It's going to take a pretty impressive force for them to split open and deliver their contents, but when they do, it is going to be very wholly unpleasant for whatever they hit. These are a pair of eroding bullets. They do your bullet damage, and additionally, I think it's 2d6 persistent acid damage. Whatever you hit.
Wonderethane.
I got presents for both you and Darren. These don't. I mean, you put them in your gun and shoot them at something big that you don't like.
I know what a bullet is. Why is there a bullet just sitting? Why is it glowing?
Because there's acid in it, and it's gonna really burn.
All right, let me reiterate here. Why is it glowing?
Oh, to protect the acid from coming out. It's magic.
All right, 3rd time's a charm. Glowing.
It's
Is it
it's
shiny so I don't lose it? Like,
yes.
fair enough. Works for me. It makes it as a special bullet so I don't eat it or something.
Exactly. And it's green because, well, you don't eat a lot of green things because, green things are gross.
I think you have to eat your greens.
Call yourself a druid.
Fair enough.
So after about 10 minutes, as the fire has smoldered itself out, leaving just a little charred body of this gnome thing, and less liquid around the shattered glass tools in the southern end of the room, John, patched up markedly better.
Yeah.
And an array of strange new toys.
First time doing a medicine check, and it worked out very well. Also, we finally got to use risky surgery.
It's a risky somebody with surgery. It didn't do anything, but it was there.
It was there. It was a net negative.
It is a really good feat. It's just if you rolled a 20 anyway, then it didn't really you got to also stab him a little before you helped him out.
Good to take out some stress.
That's what the
Did
gun's
you
for.
Did you have the wounded condition? You didn't.
I haven't gone
did you?
down.
Yeah,
I'm just
right.
doomed one.
He's doomed. Though.
Right, because that's what I remember. I was like, I remember something. It was from the card you played. So you're still doomed.
Oh yeah.
But
I feel as though I'm on death's door.
as that all kind
You're
of
on death's
wraps
front
up,
lawn. You're not death's door yet.
In his neighborhood.
Yeah, you know.
what are the group of you doing now?
Well, if we got a little time to relax, I'm gonna meditate real quick and focus.
Yeah, you could have done that while they were healing up for sure.
Yeah.
So, which ways do we want to go? I want to unprise the door, which I don't think is smart. Normally, they close doors like that for a reason.
The less ways we leave open behind us, the better off we are.
So, is this hall?
It's probably a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Okie dokies.
Before we go, though, John,
Step back.
Do I need
Step
to
back
hold your
again.
gun for a minute?
Step back
I
behind
shouldn't
Wrath.
think so, but we come from different backgrounds, and maybe it wasn't right of me to expect things of you that you weren't trained to do. I want to apologize to you for that.
Then I have to say this. It is a learning experience to fight with people who you're not used to. I may have not have thought, actually. I thought you could handle it. I thought they wouldn't have done anything. It bit me like 16 times and did nothing. So maybe I just thought in my head, you're as tough as me. Maybe I thought in my head it was doing nothing, so it was no problem. So it's partially my fault for leaving you in the first place. I think we're both at fault and we should both just
Do better?
do better.
I like that. I like do better.
Ain't that wonderful?
That's wonderful.
Also, you look like shit, man. Drink these 2 things.
I feel like it's just gonna drink. To doing better. It's the toast with a potion.
What was the name of that bullet?
So they're
Eroding bullet.
minor life.
They're
It's
lessers, actually.
lesser. I don't even know.
Yeah,
what
it's Lessers, not minors. So
Yeah,
it's,
3d6
it's like
plus
3d6 plus
6?
5? 6? 3d6 plus 6.
3d6 plus 6.
That's 3d6 plus 6.
I have the
3d6 plus
items
6.
buried somewhere, but I don't know.
Somewhere.
3d6 plus 6.
I had a lot of those at one
15.
point. I'm pretty sure it's 3d6 plus 6.
I'm gonna drink both of them.
10.
10 plus 6 or plus 16. Okay, cool. That is amazing math. John looks like he just walked into this place.
Magic potions. Pretty
Magic
well,
potion
not magic,
and-
alchemical potions.
And Floblin.
Pretty good. And Floblin. Alchemical potions and regular magic.
And
And Red. We all came together to heal John's horrible, horrible injuries.
I did my job.
right then.
And I got to light something on fire today, so I'm happy.
And I feel like it was really beautiful watching you guys reconcile. I feel like
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
we should.
I think we should
hold
move
rocks.
on.
I
We
think
should move on.
I'm gonna
Okay.
pull out the shield, change my exploration action to have shield raised, and take point in this narrow hallway with the sword drawn.
I will fall right behind him and be the sneaky, sneaky goblin.
Don't hide behind me. That makes me nervous.
I'll take middle, I guess.
I'm gonna be seeking right behind Aaron.
I'm gonna load that fancy bullet. It's gonna take me. I'm fatigued, and I can't do an exploration activity.
So,
The first thing.
single file once more into these narrow passageways. Here is where things seem to become a bit confusing. You've squeezed through a couple of these narrow halls already, but most of them have simply served to conjoin 2 chambers at a very short distance. Your initial entry having brought you to a brief fork, but opening up immediately afterwards. This, however, seems to be a longer passage. One that doesn't quickly widen or open to a better area, that splits and winds its way around through the stonework underground. no great distances, but it's not narrow enough that you're having to like really squeeze and pick your way through, but it is a kind of awkward and uncomfortable journey. As you make your way into these halls, though, the light from your magic is supplemented by a kind of muted blue glow, radiating out from these small patches of what almost look like a rough moss, growing along the edges of the walls near the floor, in surprisingly decently maintained little patches. They're not just sprawling their way up the walls. They look like they have been cultivated to stay close to the ground in almost rectangular strips where they've decided to grow forth. You're met almost immediately with a fork, and looking either direction shows you more splits in the passage or simply a hallway winding its way around the corner further into darkness. Give me a direction, friends. Who's in the front, right?
I'm in the front.
John.
John, which way do we head?
Whereas last time I picked a direction, we ended up in a trapped room. Which way do you think we go? Left or right?
All right, I'm going to flip a coin here.
No,
and,
sis,
we're
stop.
going left.
But I could actually take a look and see which place looks like it was more traveled, so that we might actually get where we're going.
Yeah,
You
but
want
we're
to switch
going
to
left.
tracking, you can certainly give me a survival check.
Yeah. And I have an advantage because I have terrain expertise underground.
That is the place that we are.
That is an 8 on the die.
So that is
Advantage.
a 20.
With a 20 looking down, it looks like both directions here are fairly well traveled. Both of these seem to lead to areas that are commonly accessed by whatever these small little creatures are.
Left it is.
Left it is.
Turning left at this passageway immediately leads you to a further fork, leaving you directions once more.
All right.
Left again.
No. Flobno, which way do you think we should go? This is a team effort.
Hey, tell him left.
I'm still tracking.
Well, I'm going to use me goblin senses and say... We're going left again, I suppose.
Left again.
Left leads you to a small rough staircase, just raising you a couple of feet in this passage into the stone, before it kind of roughly kicks to the left, spins its way back around, before finally terminating at a door, some what must be 50, 60 feet up from that previous fork. At the terminus of this passageway, this door is of simple wood. One that looks a lot plainer, a lot less sturdy, and a lot more ill-fitting with a lot of the environs that you've been through so far. There haven't been a lot of doors, really. They've mostly just been connected by tunnels. But the door leading into that laboratory from the hallway of skulls and murder death was thick and stone, and the one at the southern end of the alchemy lab was a very stout, hardy piece. This is just kind of a door you'd find just inside somebody's home. And opening the door, the first thing that hits you is not the sight, but the smell. That is an utterly nauseating mixture of both decay and strange chemicals washes out into this passageway from the room before, where you can see glinting saw blades, assortment of pliers, long stitching needles, all kinds of surgical equipment organized on shelves and benches along the walls of this chamber, with one massive, sturdy wooden table, maybe 9 feet across and 12 feet deep, like a king-sized mattress here, if not even a little bit bigger, supporting a huge humanoid shape. What looks to be a patchwork thing stitched together from parts of dozens of different bodies. The thing must be 8-9 feet tall were it to stand.
Oh boy.
Why are we here?
I think we're here so that the chief's son doesn't become part of something like that.
Could we just go find him? Can we close this door and pretend we never came in it?
Is it looking at me?
Could.
Is it looking at me?
Well, it's if you're looking at the face, it's almost, were it not so horrifying, it would be comical. the story of Pathfinder. This small, little, normal-sized head put upon this massive, fleshy, bulbous spread of shoulders. A head,
So it's a tank.
a head with a wide white tattoo of a lower jaw going down from ear to here, and an assortment of kind of winding tribal insignias up the sides of his face, stitched onto the neck of this creation.
Could we just close the door and just leave?
We might need to kill it.
Why?
Well, look at its head.
Is it looking at me?
You want to
Am I making eye contact with it?
Its eyes are open, staring blankly forward at the ceiling above it as it lay on this table.
Why do we need to kill it? It doesn't look like it's doing anything.
It's got the. It looks like that tattoo on its face. It looks like that skull tattoo. I think that's the chief's son's head.
It is.
Of the tattoos.
I don't. Is it? I don't think so.
You didn't get a ton of description of the tattoos. Basically, what you got is, what are the odds there's more than one vaguely 16-year-old Shoanti fresh body down there?
Yeah.
And this head looks pretty fresh.
Oh God.
Alrighty then.
Okay.
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 So hopefully this
so-
project is just in the middle of it, and we can just take the head off
Try
and just
not
put
to-
it in a bag.
Yeah, try not to put the bullet through the head. We need it to be recognized.
Well, I don't think we have
So
to shoot
burning
it.
it is not a good idea.
Don't
then.
burn it. I'm
All right,
going
if it
to.
gets up.
Well, I have an idea.
I don't
Why
trust
don't
this.
I try taking it apart with crafting tools?
You're all kind of shuffled in the room.
Yeah, I'm shuffling in the
Gathered
room.
around
I'm
this
not entering
table.
that door.
You're at the door. You're back at the doorway. Everybody else
I
is clearly
am
in here
going
talking
to second
about
that notion and stay behind because
All right,
I
then.
think
You
that's
can
better.
see there are 3 passageways that intersect in this chamber beyond where you come in. One in the northwest, one in the southwest that you can see is very brief before it leads to a door, and an eastern just kind of narrowing of the cavern that leads to an area stained with blood and bodily refuse, still sporting a couple of fresher body parts scattered across the floor.
Arden's gonna throw up in the corner.
Understand?
Okay.
Like
Not a fun room.
like he's so overwhelmed with how utterly horrific this is, and he has absolutely no mental reference for it. He looks almost like frozen, like he doesn't know what to do, like as he gets in the room and sees all of this.
Alright, then.
He just freezes.
Quick and easy. Quick and easy. I'm going to take the head off this body. I'm going to put away my sword and shield, pull out the scythe, and just kind of line it up. Like, quick and easy. This thing is sharp. And just pull.
As you pull the blade of your scythe, shears through the stitching around the neck, holding it onto the shoulders of this creation, ripping through with almost nauseatingly little resistance, not having to pull through any sinew or bone connected within yet. For the moment, it looks like it had simply been affixed to the top of the skull, and then no further process had happened yet. I imagine forthwith you pull, expecting more than that, kind of sends the head spinning at the top of the table as it comes to a rest atop the shoulder near you, detached. No blood or anything oozes out from this separation, as that's clearly largely been drained. from
Stop!
this
Stop before you do that.
mess.
No one needs prayers.
Andrade, Magen, Digenitus, Sedimentus, Reposus. I'm gonna cast Gentle Repose on the head
Okay.
so that it doesn't get any more worn down than it is to protect it.
Your magic would infuse directly into this head, still just staring with empty eyes forward.
At which-
as you hold it.
Put into a sack.
At which point I will dry heave again.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm a little ticked off now. So that's 1 body parts.
You have one head.
We have to find the body, the legs, and the arms.
Here you go, Reth.
It's in the doorway.
Put that in my bag. Pretend I don't have it. I'm not carrying a human head. That's not what's in my bag. It's It's bouquet of roses.
I'm gonna hold my breath and just look into the eastern alcove and see if I see any bits that look like they belong to this kid.
None of the bits in there even have the same general skin tone as this head that you've taken, and none of them sport any notable tattoos. Is it long cam? So you're fairly confident with an immediate glance that there shouldn't be anything in there.
I'm just gonna turn away from that.
I would really like to leave this room.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes. Which way we want to go?
Doesn't matter.
Back
Pick,
the way you came, or on the other side of the room from this storage alcove, there is a north and a south passage.
pick
The
south.
north
We're
winding
going
away yet further
South?
north, and the south heading to a door almost immediately.
Door.
south door.
Cool.
As the group of you move up to the doorway there, another simple wooden door opens into a smaller, more properly hewn chamber. This workshop of horrors you've come from has clearly been hewn from the stone by rough tools. It is not a part of this ancient complex. But this is again a small, square, well-structured room with two wide freestanding bookshelves filled with row upon row upon row of freestanding scrolls and tomes that look like they have been very particularly organized. There's no other furniture or anything in the room here, no tables or seats for anywhere to read, but there are a pair of sconces on either corner, flanking either side of the doorway you came in from.
Is there anything in the sconces?
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
What kind of books?
Yeah, what kind of books?
Looking through, you want to give me a wild guess.
Necromancy books?
Anatomy 101 for humans,
It is almost
goblins.
entirely
Flesh warping.
the things that you have said. It is a lot of books
Formaldehyde
of
and you.
human anatomy. It is a lot of treatises on different types of necromancy magic, none of which are really skewed towards the introductory or the basics. And a lot are quite specifically geared towards the art of constructing golems. There's a surprisingly large number of books, almost one whole face of one of the shelves here, attributed entirely to diseases and plagues as well.
That's lovely. What a delightful
Great place,
person.
Wonderful library.
I cut the edges of it. All of it.
And this is all behind the door, right?
This is all in the room. Yeah,
okay.
this is like it is like a small little library in this room. Give me a perception check there, Darren.
19.
With a 19, as you are just kind of glancing through here, you do see two small little rolled up scrolls that look a bit different from the rest of what is in here that are very small. They're like single sheets of vellum.
I guess I'll look it over.
We take them out and look at them.
Yeah.
Pulling them out and looking at them, both of them are what you would certainly recognize as magical notation, but you obviously have no concept of how to read them. However, you have two very magically inclined characters in the party who, between the two of them,
I can read too.
magic.
I have knowledge religion.
I think identifying a scroll literally requires you to be able to understand magic.
It does.
You
Yeah.
can't
I can
knowledge
identify
check your way
items,
through. Yeah. You
not
can't. You
scrolls.
actually cannot identify a magical scroll at all unless you understand magic enough to cast it. It's not even like it's a language. It's like it's a whole notation.
Well, I'm going to hand one to Arden, and I'm going to say, hey, Floblin, here's one for you. See if you can make any sense of that.
Between the two of you, whether you have to trade them or not, one of them would be a scroll of identify. The other would be a relatively potent scroll of disrupt undead, heightened to 3rd level.
Ooh.
Can't
Interesting.
cast that, but it's nice.
I think I can.
I think he can.
That's divine magic.
Well, I would look at that and be like, well, I think I can cast this, I'm pretty sure, if you want me to. In case we get into a pinch.
Well, yeah, that would be good.
Could be handy. And the other one was...
Identify.
identify.
Is that a spell in second ed?
Yeah.
Oh, the actual spell identify. I thought he meant actually you have to identify the
No,
scroll.
identify still a spell in second. It's just a fat bonus to identify something.
Is it a
I think.
is it primal or divine?
Identify.
The scroll.
I think it's arcane.
I think they were both. The scroll would. They would both be divine. I think.
Well, Floblin's got them both then.
Yeah,
Well,
that would
if you, I'll just.
make logical sense for whose they are. So I'd say they're both divine.
Well, in that case,
Oh, eats the.
I'll erase them.
We don't have them anymore. That's not how you learn
Never
magic.
forgetty. Otherwise, from here, the library does not seem to lead anywhere. This just seems to be a small adjoining chamber to this workshop.
Well, it's good to know that
I can cast
whoever's
Disrupt Undead.
been researching is at least well versed in their craft.
Yeah, they're dedicated. That is what we're looking for. All right, then to the North Passage.
Seems like it.
Close your eyes, hold your breaths.
Finding your way once more back through this small little station of horror, you would come around to a small little twisting hallway that would quickly terminate in what looks to be a bedchamber. Very plainly and kind of poorly appointed, and again, roughly hewn from the stone, clearly added on to all of the areas, all these catacombs they were able to find on their own, which has a couple of pieces of furniture that not match with the wealth and grandeur of the rest of this area here. Very large 4-poster bed with fine silken sheets, next to a plain and simple but nicely carved mahogany writing desk, a full-length mirror propped up against the wall on the other side of the chamber.
How did they get this furniture in this
So-
room?
We never know. We don't ask those questions.
Shrink item.
quick question.
Shrink
what
item.
level was that? Disrupt Undead?
Third.
Thank you.
Nice. So shut it
I'm
in
using
here.
my notes.
But as you would filter into this room here, you would see it too has an adjoining chamber with a narrow hallway hewn about 6.5 feet high and 4.5 feet wide, enough for a single person to walk through kind of comfortably, to another smaller domicile. But you, John, the front here, don't even immediately get an opportunity to process what exactly is in this further chamber as you come in and get a view of this and see the figure that is standing at the backside of this little 5-foot passageway. Gaedren Lamb.
What?
What?
Oh, cool.
The old man is standing, kind of hunched, as he always has been, turned towards this bedroom as the group of you kind of come in. Just looks.
I thought you killed him.
Is he a zombie?
I thought I burned him.
I'm pretty sure you burnt him.
Yeah.
I think he's a
As turns
zombie.
his head, you see a pretty extensive scarring down the side of his face, down to where his jacket is, where the skin has been hideously charred and warped by fire.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna say we should probably kill that.
I,
right?
yeah.
And as you talk, you see another figure kind of poke out from that further chamber behind him. Another one of these small, little, bluish creatures. But this one has no hair atop its head. It has a massive kind of furled white beard hanging down almost to its knees as it wears a kind of simple brown burlap robe drawn around its body with a rope. And it looks out to see the group of you just sort of in the hallway here. Confused for a moment, before an undercommon it calls out, "Ah, Rolf will love these parts!" and starts casting a spell.
All right, it's the plan. Arden, talk him down.
I'm gonna need some initiative first.
may I use stealth?
You can absolutely use stealth, good sir.
Ooh, that's a good roll too.
I was stopping to talk smack to Arden.
was anyone scouting?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Was Reth not?
Reth is fatigued.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Taking
yeah,
any
no one's
deep
scouting
version.
up. Speaking of Reth, what you got, buddy?
21.
21?
23. Improved
23?
initiative.
Arden?
30.
You good? John?
23.
John's 23. I picked up Darren and said John because I have Darren in my other hand. Darren?
Darren's an 11.
Oh, Darren was not ready. Floblin?
Floblin got 27.
27. Gaedren Lamb
I would ask you let me go first.
You can go first.
got a 12. He lost initiative with a zombie.
So I will go in front of John.
We both rolled 23.
Oh, you both got 20. Oh, right, 'cause you said 21, then 23. Right.
I'm on.
And this little guy is going to get a 20, so he will also just be in here. We have the pack.
The boys.
Arden, you are up first here.
What does it look like he's casting?
He's
spell.
Just starting to cast.
just
so I have
starting to
no
cast?
idea.
Okay.
He's just putting something together.
Isomectra Hexus! Disrupt on undead on the zombie.
Okay. Is that touch?
Not with reach.
Fair enough. That's a fort save, question mark?
It is. And it's 30 feet, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Means you have an
Gets
action left.
an 11.
Oh, okay, that's gonna be a
Okay.
that's gonna be a fail. Not a critical fail. Just
Not a critical fail?
Only
Because
4. LDCs don't rack it that fast.
All right.
so
Need D4s?
it's d6s.
Oh.
Targeting specific undead gives a little more damage.
That's 12 damage.
12 damage. As you cast this out, Gaedren's body twitches and jerks and collapses to the ground.
Huh.
Oh,
Easy enough.
well then.
Oh, okay.
I guess he was just an old man zombie.
And to think I was going to waste a bullet on him.
And you hear this little creature call out, "Oh, no! Ruth will not like that!"
Who's Ruth? That will literally be my action. Just being confused.
Flavlin.
I don't like those things at all. Dalcon, produce flame.
Now, down this passageway, kind of around the corner, he's definitely got cover from you.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, he doesn't really come out.
Yeah.
I guess, well, I would have to move first.
You're also literally not in the room, yeah. Well, I guess you'd all be kind of in the room, but you would solidly have cover. You could throw it. It's a small enough room you can see the hole.
Okay.
Curvin, produce flame.
It is magic.
Yes, produce flame curved. So that's a 24 in total.
24 will hit. Oh, not with cover, it won't. Wait, it's cover 2? Will hit.
Okay. So it does hit.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. It would be a 26 because goblin things.
The 26 definitely hits.
That was a whole flip-flop of emotions.
But yes, no, yes.
That was a
no,
roller
yes,
coaster.
no, yes.
All the things.
Scared.
That is max damage on that, good sir. So that's going to be 12 fire damage.
Crispy.
Crispy.
And then touch shield.
As that pops up, Wrath.
I am going to move forward and up against the northern corner there so that I can look into the room. Yeah, right up against the little connector. And covered reload to put the acid bullet in my gun.
I thought you already put the acid.
I thought you were going to put the acid
Functionally, I can't walk around
Oh, right,
with it
right. You
loaded.
can't walk
right.
around the gun loaded, right?
But now I'm in cover. Then I'm going to pop out and, well, I reckon if that zombie went down so quick, perhaps this will be quick.
He's just a wizard. Natural 20.
I'm sorry. This was supposed to be a fight.
Do you need me some D12s, there, good sir?
No, I have 3 of them.
All right.
I needed D6s.
Aye.
How many you need, man?
That's plenty.
No,
Oh, okay.
So
That's what he said.
because I am fatigued, I do not get sniper shot because you have to roll stealth.
Okay.
But
No,
I
you
still
can't
get
be sneaking,
all of
right?
this. So natural 20. That's going to be persistent damage he takes on top of this. Red is the fatal dice. All right. So 18 becomes 36. So that's a 7. So 43, 47 damage.
Alright, final boss is dead. So,
It was supposed to be a
There
fight.
was 2 people who didn't get to go this time.
Well, I was joking. I didn't think the little guy would go. Okay, well. So the problem is the bullet, based on the description, it's a glass bullet full of acid.
right.
and it's coming out of an arquebus.
Oh, gee.
So it hit him, and the acid sears a hole through him, carrying the velocity and the force to punch a fist-sized gap through his chest cavity.
Yeah, as you run up, whatever spell he's manifesting, there's this hole just blows through him. He just plap over on his back.
So,
And
Darren,
just,
I think
skins, I imagine, a couple inches across the stone from
Darren,
the
I think I'm
force
going to be needing that other bullet. Those things are actually pretty neat.
Oh my god.
That was even better than the, what was it, O2?
You know what? Just take it. Here, just take it. Okay.
Should I burn the corpses just in case?
No.
Maybe.
Maybe wait till we're leaving the room.
Yeah, we don't want to be
yes,
in here
please.
while they're burning.
But please no.
Is it really dead?
There's just a little bit of green steam rising up from the body from this eroding bullet that slammed through him.
I'm at least gonna burn the one that's Gaedren.
No, but
Don't-
burn
don't-
both of them, just not while I'm in the room.
Yeah,
We don't want to
burn
smell
them.
that.
Put them together and burn them
Okay.
when we leave.
I guess we'll check for evidence. I'll just check the rooms
I'm
and
checking to
toss
make
them.
sure.
As you
It's
pass
dead.
through the passageway,
I
there,
can see through it. It's dead.
make me a perception check.
It's not dead.
There's two of them.
I get a 12. I'm just like, dang, God, man. I'm still staring at the body.
Yeah, you're very distracted by the bodies, and you have to pick your way over Gaedren Lamb, who's here again
Yeah.
somehow. And you can see this farther chamber is kind of like a smaller, really shoddy mirror of this first bedroom. A really tiny little gnome-sized rickety wooden bed is pushed far in the back with a single workbench and a small set of shelves across from it on either side as you come in the door. On the shelves is a human torso with one arm. And as you come through, this arm spasms and flails and swipes out at you.
Ah.
10 to hit.
I just lean away from it.
Get out of the way of it. As it lashes out, you can see like banded tattoos coming up from the back of the hand, running between the fingers to this chest that is covered in the imagery of bones and skeletal visages. This is-
He wasted no time dismembering that body, did he? Yeah, like as soon as he got it.
Now, hold on. Let's be fair here.
I can maybe fix it.
Maybe with magic so that the flesh doesn't get burnt to pieces. Can you like blast the grabbiness out of it?
As you stand there with a 19, it twists, slaps out. Again.
Gets my armor.
Do I think
I'm gonna step out of range.
if I
There's
cast
not really a lot of space in the room to come, unless you go the far to the back, then this like entryway to get out of reach of this like spasming arm.
do I think if I cast gentle repose on it, it'll calm down?
I don't know. You could think a lot of things.
What about that? That magic that seemed to really kind of make that magic really seemed to make Gaedren kind of twitch and fall over, but I didn't see any damage from the body. That could be the one, whatever one that was.
Okay, Isomectrohexis? Disrupt Undead?
And as Disrupt Undead surges into it, it jolts the spine of the whole body, arches, and kind of jumps the whole torso about an inch off the table before it clatters and the arm just hangs limply over the side.
I guess I'll carry that one.
Digenesis Sedimentus Metamorphosis Magnon. Gentle repose again.
And you infuse the torso with this magic as well.
God, I hate this place.
I do too, actually.
Now, let's be fair. The magic you put in the corpse bit could have been in the big body.
You're right, it could have been.
I'm glad he took the time on the torso, not the whole thing.
Artisan.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess, yeah, sir.
I
Well,
really
this-
don't like it here.
Room, as you look around, there is a small, what looks like skin-bound tome. This tiny little thing sat on the table next to this torso. And
Burn
a
it.
little footlocker next to this.
Please,
gnome thing
do you mean the
little bed.
footlocker, like literally like it is a foot with a lock on it?
I wouldn't put it past you.
I'm gonna go
Regular footlocker.
grab.
Okay, sorry.
I'm gonna go grab
A
like
totally understandable question in the Necromancer's hell world.
I'm gonna go grab the sheets off the other bed and wrap the torso in a nice silken sheet. And it's kind of
Easier to carry.
you
too.
make it where I can just put it on my back and carry it like a
Baby
backpack.
carrier.
Papoose.
It's a small child. It is a small child. That is all I am carrying on my back right now in a hell world.
And you kind of feel the arm just gently.
Hey. Stop that. Stop it, you.
Oh, would
Where's
you
his
look
head?
at that? He's trying to give you a hug.
Where's his head? Stop it.
Now, do you want me to put the head in there, maybe
No,
bite you?
No, you carry the heads. I'll carry the torso. He gets the other arms. He gets the leg.
Something to look forward
You get the hand.
I'm gonna cover my
okay.
hand in my sleeve and just open the flesh book a minute.
You
Looking
shouldn't
through,
be
it
touching
seems
that.
to be
in
notated with
human flesh.
undercommon, and its thin pages covered in further magical text. This is modified undercommon. It is just language. This looks like it is the spell book of this little gnome guy here.
Could you please burn this? This is his spell book, and it is made of skin and other actual live things, and I would like them to rest.
Gaedren on the small bed. Gnome on the small bed. Spellbook on the small bed. Anything else on the small bed?
As you're
The
moving,
pile of corpse in the other room, maybe.
As you're moving Gaedren over, you can pretty clearly see up close at the side of his face that isn't like charred and burnt away rises up almost like a quarter of an inch above the burnt part of the flesh. This has all been grafted over and replaced. It's not even his skin. And looking down at the body, it seems like large sections up to and including both of his legs have been fully replaced and stitched on with something else as well.
I really,
Check the legs and make sure they're not the ones we're looking for.
They are not Shoanti legs, but they're not Gaedren's either.
I
What do I
really,
do for a pair of Shalanti legs?
I hate,
John goes to humor when he goes to his dark place.
I hate Galarian.
Right.
Understandable.
Like the entire world?
Mostly just this cave right now.
Also,
Yeah,
that
I could this cave could go away.
Could we just go find the other limbs and pretend I didn't just say that?
Yeah, that's
Right.
fine.
Shall I, gentlemen?
Yeah, go.
Wait until I leave the room.
We're leaving the room.
I wait and just a little like pew.
And he set this bed with this pile of corpses and this stitched Gaedren monstrosity and this spell book aflame. And as smoke starts to kind of rise up and pool across the ceiling of the room.
Right, we got about 5 minutes before it catches the rest of the place.
We're already out of the room.
We're leaving.
From here, there's nowhere clear to go other than back to that twisting, narrow hallway that connected this further section from the alchemical laboratory where we began today. Heading back into that passage, are you trying to find other ways to go, or are you trying to?
Well,
make
there
your way
was a
back to
right.
the lab?
There was a
were
right
couple
we
of
could have
ways.
made. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
These were all wrong, so maybe the rights will be better.
now, see, if we go right, we go back. The advantage of going left is now we keep going left.
There's nowhere
We
left
got
to
the
go.
point. We turned around, so now what was right is now left.
I guess you could think of it that way.
I hate.
Left is right.
Please don't confuse me.
Coming back to the tunnel, everyone apparently just attempting to bury this unsettling, horrible.
Those rooms
situation with
no
fire.
longer exist.
Yep. No, that never happened.
That is out of our minds. It doesn't exist.
Never gonna think about this again. So
Never.
I'm not gonna see it in my nightmares.
Nope.
That's what you're implying. Yes.
I am
Says
not
that.
carrying a human head right now.
And I'm not carrying
That's
a
a baby.
torso.
That's just a big old baby.
Yes,
I don't understand what you guys are so flustered about. I perfectly see it as normal.
You're a goblin.
you're a goblin.
You're not right in the
I'm
head.
cursed. I'm cursed. We are all cursed now.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yes, curses are lovely.
I mean, I
You
could
would
fix
end up working your way through these winding tunnels again, finding one section that literally just doubles all the way back around, forming a closed loop with one of the branches of the initial passages, but with a couple of other forks, one of which widens a little bit before it opens into a secondary chamber. Another relatively foul-smelling cavern, like much of this horrible air is, but this one smells less of death and more of feces and rot. Coming around into a cave that opens up a decent ways, you'd find yourself on a small little platform. The floor not extending all the way around the outsides of the cavern in 3 different places, seeming to drop away into an unknowable abyss into pits that are lining this area. And two of you would emerge from this passageway onto the platform proper before you could kind of see around the corner that there was a weirdly large figure in this room as well, all the way kind of switched back around, leaning over the northernmost of these big pits. A huge, bulbous figure, about 8.5 feet tall, that surely cannot fit his way back out from this cavern that you've come in from. And he turns to the light and the group of you coming in and sees who's in the front. John and Darren are the first two.
Mm-hmm. Probably, yeah.
Sees the pair of you. And he just looks at you for a moment. His head looks almost like it's melted, having such massive growths and boils that they have pulled the skin down almost entirely over one of his eyes and caused his jaw to sag down into his chest. But he looks at you wearing a weird mishmash of what look like they're bits of traditional, normal-sized leather armor just kind of banded together to fit around him almost like belts and bandoliers. Just points with one big old meaty finger. He's kind of even stooped in this cavern. Oh, you!
I hate it here.
We're friends. Yes.
Oh, you pretty. Both like pretty bodies.
Does he have Shawanti legs by chance?
This doesn't look like a patchwork.
No, he just
thing.
has
This
them.
just looks
They're
like
just taped to his
like an
armor.
ogre, but a particularly hideous ogre thing. And he, a weird little twisted smile, kind of giggles and reaches out for John. So I imagine
That's
I found
initiative.
someone who's uglier than you. You actually are prettier.
initiative. So John and Darren are in the room. The three of the rest of you are still back in the tunnel. There's not a ton of space on this area.
Oh my.
John is not ready for this.
I mean, he is like large, but he's not so big as to like be 10-foot tile. He's just like towers a couple feet over you.
Oh.
Still. Go around this way, John.
12.
He is
Oh
not
no.
I don't want to do this.
Darren,
23.
Floblin,
22.
Arden,
Also 23. Darren can go first.
22.
Floblin, Wrath.
I should go first.
Okay. That's fine.
I have an assist someone making ranged attacks thing.
And Cabbage Head.
Cabbage
That's
head?
rude. Don't call Floblin that.
Do you think this is a cabbage?
That's torture.
See, that's what
Say
happens when you
29.
insult
Oh my
him.
god.
It's all the hide he's wearing. He's a rogue.
I can't see him.
What? Oh, he's not supposed to be large. That's my mistake. Oh no, he is large. I'm dumb. He's actually large. I thought it.
He's a big boy.
I see. Mm-hmm. They I was looking in the book and it said medium. I was like, huh, I thought he was large. And I was looking at the 2e conversion and it has him as large. So we went from medium to large in the 2e conversion. So we'll keep him as large because that's what I have him on the map.
Token. Please.
But medium's
Book,
what I have
please.
for a token.
Oh,
Huh.
So we'll go with medium.
It'll work.
Medium is the token that I have, so shrink him down.
We're gonna call him. He's medium.
I was sending an update on the Pathfinder Infinite thing. I didn't realize there was a discrepancy there until just now because I never bothered looking at the 1e stats.
See, the glitter from the alchemy room still got our eyes a little distorted, so we couldn't tell exactly how far away he was.
No,
Yeah,
he's just medium.
Closer than we thought he
He's
was.
medium large.
Yeah, that's it.
medium large.
And he is going to step up to John because he's medium,
He's Marge.
and he is just going to reach out and grab you. He's not swinging or anything. He just has a big hand, and he just kind of reaches up to get a hold of John. Big weird smile on his face.
Well, it's because he's pretty.
Reach out and
so-
touch someone today.
I will love him and hug him
25.
and call him George.
25. He
Against your
got,
fort DC.
he got me.
Oh no.
Oh,
He's got me hold of me.
And this massive hand just reaches up and kind of around your shoulders and your neck and just grab you behind him to see this thing grab John. He's just like, hee hee, hee hee. And he picks him up and just slams him into the ground. Make me a fortitude save.
That was a heavy die I just dropped.
Flunk.
13.
13 does not critically fail.
Wow.
Wow.
That's good.
I have to roll 1 to
Spider-Man.
critically fail.
5-1. Does not
I have to roll a 1 to critically fail.
Spider-Man. You are slowed 1 from just the force of this slamming. And you are going to take 10 points of bludgeoning damage as he just picks you up and slams you into the ground. And you, Darren, behind him, just kind of see this, like you see it, he just walks up, picks him up like he's a child, and just bashes him into the ground, just giggling.
I just imagine this. The scene where Hulk just slams Loki.
Puny
into
gun.
the ground. That's literally just what happens.
I know what's happening.
Just laying there.
All right, so I'm coming, John. Running reload.
No, you're grabbed though.
I am grabbed.
So running reload
Okay.
to reload and then stride. I'm going to move up to be on this side of him.
And as you move, he reaches out with his other hand just to bat you away backhanded. You wait turn!
Yeah, Darren, wait your turn.
Yeah, man, don't be
I'm
so
on this
rude.
ride.
30.
Not a crit.
He's grabbing, so 28 actually.
Still not a crit.
Oh, somehow it's a crit now.
And you are going to take 18 points of bludgeoning as he just backhands you.
Does it disrupt my movement?
No.
Nope.
Not
okay.
once he crits you.
Not once he crits me. Okay.
And we actually, I realized we had that totally, I think we had this stock at one point, but it's been a minute. We had the attack of opportunity interrupt thing completely backwards. Critting interrupts interact actions, not move actions. Unless it has a special thing that says interrupts move
Okay.
actions.
Okay. I got
But
you.
he does not know.
It
He
was
does not
the
interrupt
weird
you.
dragon things in the Mwang.
Yeah,
game.
because that was where our first attacks opportunity, where the Chiruka tails that explicitly did interrupt move actions.
Yeah, I'll
and then we
flank
got
him.
it wrong in our heads forever.
So I'm gonna stagger a bit, and as I'm moving forward, I'm gonna finish the stride actually flanking him with John, because my first plan was gonna be to try to shove him into the pit, and it's occurred to me I probably cannot shove this guy. He's a little big and a little tanky. I don't think I can shove him. But I'm behind him. Hunt prey, and then you let him go, and try to hit him in the back with a sword.
Ne'er do well, let him go.
It's a 16.
16 is not going to hit him now.
Not feeling it.
All right, that's my actions.
I mean, we're both feeling it.
We're both feeling it.
Arden, you're back in the tunnel. You see Darren come in, this huge ogre fist just bap and hit him back in the wall and stumble him as he keeps moving.
Corpus impedimentum? Heal.
Corpus
Reach.
impedimentum is your heal. Stop dying is your
Yes.
deal. I can't stop dying! Is that the first time you've said it? Just the
Yes.
Yes.
No, that's the first time I've ever had it.
Disappointed with myself if I didn't notice
No,
that
no,
before.
it's been loaded. She's been waiting to use it. I can tell.
Feast and famine.
Feast and famine. 16. 26 points of. Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey.
Steady myself a bit.
That hits everybody. Right?
Ooh, look good.
no,
No,
just
that's
hits.
2 action
Let's do it.
focused on.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a 2 action.
Yeah.
We got one action left.
I'm gonna kind of position right by Floblin to see if I can't get a better angle on this thing. There we go. Yeah. Hi.
Is Goblin out into the cave?
No,
Is
Floblin's still
slightly
back.
towards that second
you
passage.
can't really get in there. It's a single file tunnel.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna use that time to refocus and shift his entire. You'll see the colors around him kind of change and go from being like this light bluish to like this dark brownish green tone, and he'll shift attunement to earth.
Okay. Reth, you around the corner can only hear the bad things that are happening in there.
So from the roundabout, if I moved into the opening of that, would I be able to see at least part of him?
You would have to get past Cabbage Head. 'Cause all the spaces in between you and Cabbage Head where you can see Cabbage Head are occupied.
Past him I go.
All right.
I guess actually beside him because I'll be squeezing through 3 squares.
Okay, so you can move right up to the left of him there. There's not really a space to the right. That's like wall. You can move up to the left of him. Right up along the edge of one of these pits here, as he is turned away from you. Still just kind of not even thinking, just hitting John into the ground and waving at Darren like you want to fly.
Well, I'm gonna grab that bullet, reload it while I'm looking at him. Well, it sure would be a shame if I were to put this against you and pull the trigger. Bang!
He's flat-footed. He's grabbing some.
Oh my god,
18 on the die.
Ooh, maybe.
Let's see.
Please.
31.
31 will crit.
Nice.
The acid bullet.
Acid bullet, go.
So
Such money out of those 2 bullets.
red again is fatal.
I might not get a turn.
Same.
Nice.
No.
Pretty sure you'll get a turn.
Yeah, that's a 6. So 17 becomes 34, 36, 40 damage, and 2d6 persistent
Acid.
All right,
acid.
you hit, and you see this bullet hit, and you just visibly see the splash of acid across the skin, like right in front of you. And he like recoils from this and turns with like a sad expression on his face, like, "Oh, no!"
Please stop.
Flavlin,
I still got an action.
move,
No,
reload, shoot.
reload.
Flavlin.
I was thinking covered reload, running reload.
Not sure if I should burn it or use the scroll. You know what? When in doubt.
Burn them.
Burn him.
Fallbun takes a very deep breath, and you see the sparks ignite in his mouth. Second, cool.
That's what
Fire
if you hit
ray.
me. That's what if you hit me.
When in
And
doubt.
just shoot past John as he's just getting slammed on the walls and the floor here.
When in not 20.
Okay, go and fire, right?
Was 4d6 plus goblin
Melting.
things.
He's on fire. There's lots of.
Listen, I really like not having a
Oh,
turn.
it's a half and half roll here, so that's
And they're 2 different types of persistence, so they stick.
Fire and acid. He gets both. He's on
on.
fire and he's melting.
math. Give me
Both
1 second,
burn.
gentlemen. That'll be with the crit. That's 22, and he's going to be taking. I believe it's
Two.
A lot of
2d6.
persistent.
a lot of persistent
A
damage.
lot of persistent damage.
Yeah, it's going to be 2d4 plus 2.
Okay, and you got 1 action left.
Oh.
That's last, and he
reaction.
kind of recoils and brings his free hand around,
Yeah.
just sort of putting it up in between like you and Wrath and everything.
But as you know, after I fired a laser, you see the smoke emanate out of my hair a little bit more, and you slowly can't see me because that is now my moderate curse. And with that, being the smart little floblin that I am, I'm gonna. Oh wait, I can't cast shield.
you can.
You can.
It's like 10 minutes, so you can do it again.
Oh
So
yeah,
let's come
that's
back
right.
to
Oh
that.
yeah, that's right.
It's not like it's gone forever.
Shield again, just in case.
All right, John, you are slowed and
Cool. Perfect position. I have a sword out. As he raises me up, I'm gonna stab down towards his face. Give me the high grounds. I like it when they give me the advantage. For a 10. That looks like a.
That looks like a 10.
That looks like a 10. That was a 10.
Dice are hard.
Dice are hard, so that's a total of a 23.
23 will hit him.
It is just a long sword.
He's a big, lightly armored flesh monster. He's not proven super hard to hit. He's just very thick.
For a total of 5.
Okay.
And then I really just don't like being grabbed by him, but I'm not going to try to break the grab. He'll eventually get bored and leave me alone, right? I'm gonna stab him
feel-
again.
See,
I feel that there's-
don't try to argue with the bully. Just let him bully you, and he'll get bored and stop.
Yes.
Just leave him to tire himself out.
Yeah, he's like my elementary school guidance counselor.
Whoa. And
Doing it.
traumatized.
As piercing too, since I am thrusting, versatile piercing, if that matters for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a guy.
That's
It's an 11.
minus the 5. So my math is 19.
19 will hit. He's grabbing.
Yeah.
Flat footing himself.
For 8 this time around.
Okie dokie.
Just some good old solid.
So a pretty good amount of damage on him. And as you're poking at him here and he's trying to hold his hand up in front of everyone, he just picks you up again and just back down into the ground once more. Make me a fortitude save.
I'm gonna roll this one. This one's pretty. The pretty dice do not
pretty
agree with
hard to
Jean.
read.
Pretty hard to read. You're right. 16.
Regular failure, you're slowed 1 again.
Okay.
It's slowed 1 for 1 round. So you are slowed 1 again. You are going to take 14 more points of bludgeoning damage. Just bashes you into the ground, but this time he does it just open hand, slamming you into the ground. But both hands kind of up for a minute. One up towards the hallway, towards you and Floblin. And he pulls the other back as he turns towards Red. You go in, pit! And just pulls it back.
Oh no.
Pulls it back a little more, and just a huge overhead haymaker slam.
Fortitude or AC?
AC.
Okay.
He's got to hit you first. 25.
That'll hit.
Now fortitude.
Alrighty. It goes to with the same roll against fortitude?
No, you make a fortitude save. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, make me a fortitude. He hit you.
I thought it
so
was
give me a
going
fortitude
against
save.
my fortitude save. Or my fortitude
Yeah,
DC.
my bad. I need a fort save.
That's a 2. Total of 9.
9 will critically fail.
Oh no.
And as this slams into Red, and he just gets absolutely blasted by this giant fist of cabbage head, you're going to take 16 points of bludgeoning damage. And you see Red fly backwards, slam into the cave wall 10 feet back, and like almost cartoonishly just fall from there,
Wrath!
face down into whatever is down there. Reth, you would fall face down into a pit, about 12 feet down. You take 6 more points of bludgeoning damage from the fall.
Oh boy.
That's not
I have a
unconscious
thing.
Space.
No, I have a
What's your
thing.
thing?
You'll see.
Okay.
You said 6 more?
6 more.
Okay.
Face down. Oh, I know where this is going now.
Yes, you do.
Face down into this pit. Kind of stunned for a moment. You are prone also as you land.
Won't matter.
And you kind of look around and see this pit is just filled with a small wad of moldy straw, maybe 6 feet across. You land right next to just a heap of human filth that is piled in the corner. Fortunately, you fall a little broken by 2 corpses that you land on.
I would imagine this is the trash can.
But looking around, there's a figure huddled back in the corner away from you, very much alive. Just sort of like terrified, filth-stricken, emaciated, but alive. And that's his 3 actions. He body slammed John.
And he's on fire.
He's on fire and he's taking a bunch of acid damage. So give me your persistence.
That's going to be 6 fire damage.
Fire continues.
7 acid.
The acid stops. So 6 and 7, 13 total.
Yep.
90 damage into Cabbage Head. Aaron.
Oh boy. So seeing him kind of wave his arms and just see Reth go, ah, and then, ooh, I'm like, oh, okay, it wasn't that deep. Right then, and I'm gonna go for his knees because it's right at waist height for me, so it's a really good, easy hacking thing. Maybe that'll work better than trying to stab up at him. Yeah, maybe not though, it's a 17.
17's not gonna hit him.
I'll swing again.
As he kind of turns back around towards you. Stop! Me give you Rolf! Make him happy! As he's getting ready to...
Oh, I see what he's doing. Yeah, no, none of that. 18.
Not gonna hit
A little better. You know what? I've got nothing better to do. Oh, that was decent. Too bad it's minus 10. 17.
Sad.
And as you're just sort of swinging in here,
Doing great, Darren.
Yeah, I've got him distracted.
Arden in the back, because he's still got this one hand up towards the hallway, readying a big old fist for Darren here.
No.
Just literally back there, Emily's flaming and melting and smoldering.
You stop hitting my friends! The granulatum adamantum! Scatter scree. Just gonna start
Reflex save?
flinging rocks at
Oh,
him.
he's wonderful at reflex saves.
I'll bet.
I bet he is.
What's a solid, like, negative 15?
27.
Wow.
Wow.
Pretty good at reflex.
Okay,
saves.
wow.
Anything's possible if you roll a 19.
Yeah, all right.
Critical success.
Not a critical success, though. I hate this thing.
I think we all hate this thing.
Oh, that's a 3 on 2d4.
And then 8 points of damage.
So
Does
4.
that have? So 4?
Oh, yeah, 4.
4 points of damage. He
Rocks.
takes these little bits of rock just kind of hit him, and he calls back down the tunnel. Stop! I still rolled I can do good!
You're doing great.
You're doing great.
Ah! And starts just patting at this burning acid in the side of him. It hurt inside.
He takes another 4 because I'm one level better.
What?
It auto heightens because it's
Oh,
one of
okay,
my
okay.
So it takes another 2?
cantrips. So it takes another 2.
1 action left.
Hey! I'm gonna get you! Ah!
The sad part is this is going to work.
Try to draw him down the tunnel so that we can flank him.
Intimidating him, or-
Yeah.
Okay. Intimidate check.
Not trained. Doesn't matter.
Untrained
Nat
intimidate.
20.
Let's go.
No.
Pretty sure it's a trained action, but I'll let you do it anyway 'cause it's funny.
It's funny.
11?
Total.
Sounds about
The
right.
dice.
Ref.
So it doesn't say I have to be standing.
I don't think it does, no.
Oh, you son of a bitch. So, on the ground, laying prone, reload my gun, kind of half prop up, and pull the trigger with the barrel on the ground. And black powder boost all the way back up.
He got to use it.
I got to use it!
He's accomplished.
It is an automatic 10-foot jump.
I don't believe you get to rocket jump as a
That's actually,
gunslinger.
that's the height of the thing, yeah. So
Well, what do you know?
I hate how cool you are.
So, not only I'm going to boost up, land on the edge, look over at him, reload
and
again
he's gonna backhand you.
from there.
You're on the ledge next to him.
No, I'm not.
There's no ledge that's not next to him.
You said he was medium.
Yeah, it's a small little. Oh, on the far side. I see. On the southern end of
Yeah.
the thing. Okay, jump up on the far. All right, fair enough. You jump up down the far end
Yeah.
of the thing.
I'm
No
not
one's
jumping up
moving the
beside
token, so
him.
I keep looking here and not knowing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Welcome to my world.
Okay.
So
little distance.
I'll hop up there and just kind of sitting on the edge, reload my gun, pointing over at him. Cover fire. He gets to choose to take cover. If
He is
wants.
gonna try to take cover as much as he can.
Four on the die, doesn't matter. 17 total. Wouldn't have hit him.
I got 17 just whizzes.
But I got to use black powder boost.
He's so happy.
He's happy.
How's Wrath look as he gets up right
Oh,
now?
he's not happy.
He's not hurt, he's mad.
He's mad.
Well, you know who is trained in intimidation.
Gunslingers get permanent
Hey,
attacks. a lot.
ugly. You want me to burn the rest of you? You better put them down.
He's already put me down. I'm very well down.
That is going to be, well, 18, apparently.
18 will 60.
Wow. Okay, so he is frightened
And
one.
he looks at you and just kind of shies back. He's still trying to like hold this acid hole where this bullet is blasted across his torso.
Too bad he's gonna burn anyway. Darkhan, produce flame.
I feel almost kind of bad.
That was a 1 on the die.
That one's gonna whiff.
He just kind of goes, and it just poofs in the hand like, I think I burned too much in the last shot. Sorry, guys.
So, John, slowed as you are, it does not actually prone you as he slams you into the wall and you kind of quickly right yourself. You get 2 actions.
Oh my! I feel sort of bad for this man. Saying, "What are you?" I'm gonna stab at him.
And Cabbage Head!
Oh, that's a nice name, there, buddy. But you know what they say.
I need your face! You pretty one!
21.
21 will hit him.
Hey, you see, Arden, this is where talking gets you.
For 11.
What happens to him?
Literally, as he's talking, just one good thrust through the neck.
As
And
you
stop
stick
talking,
him-
please.
You like that.
John, serial killer Tiller.
And just
That wasn't a serial killer.
I don't know if that counts.
That doesn't
for a
count.
moment,
We weren't trying to take that one alive.
and just Just pull it back. His huge frame just sort of topples.
Right.
Black powder boost, black powder boost.
Some of the pretty neat
You
trick
boys
I saw.
all right?
Oh, I'm perfectly fine.
That wasn't a trick. That was me hoping it worked.
Oh,
You shouldn't have said that. It
you're
makes it
so
way less cool.
impressive.
I'm gonna pull a elixir of life out and drink it. Possibly all 3 of them.
Right.
Where did he throw you?
The people hole.
Now you hear a voice. Art.
Yeah, there's people in the holes.
There's people
Who?
in the...
I'll go over to the hole.
Now you look down, you see this pit, you see this excrement pile, you see this little hay mat, you see these 2 corpses just rotting down there. And one other figure, sort of curled up, he's on his knees now, up against the side of this, just sort of looking up 12 feet down. As malnourished and mistreated as he is, it is
Colin?
definitely Colin.
Oh, hey,
Colin!
I found your what was it? Your cousin, your nephew, your
Cousin.
brother. I found him.
Nephew.
Okay.
Oh,
Art!
nephew.
Ard! What are you doing here?
I came to rescue you.
How?
Because
did-
I've been following you since you got taken by Gaedren Lamb.
Did you find the... You saw the thing. It worked.
Yeah. Come on.
Who's your exploding friend?
Looking back over the edge. Howdy. My name's Reth.
That's Wrath.
Is he a wizard? You know wizards?
I'll
I
go
thought
get him, I
wizard
guess.
magic
Wants
was
to go down, I'll
bad.
pull you back out.
That'll work. I
he's-
don't want Arden climbing
he's-
anything.
Yeah, here's a rope.
He's in a pit like 12 feet down, but you've got all
Well-
the time in the world and 5 of you.
And lots
to
of practice falling off buildings.
organize a rope here.
While
gonna-
they're doing that, I'm gonna look in the other 2 holes.
Look in the other 2 holes. One of them just does appear to be a refuse heap. All of the parts or full bodies that are down there are well rotted. There is also a massive mound of, well, what is certainly the aftermath of Cabbage Head's day-to-day activities. Probably servicing most of the odor of this room. The third pit has another figure who is very much alive, a woman who looks to be maybe in her late 20s, as well as some scattered body parts, 2 of which are quite heavily tattooed individual legs, just atop this heap.
Well, I found a people and some legs, boys.
Arden gets to carry his legs.
Right.
Hold on, let me lower a rope down to you, lady.
So as you, a couple minutes of work, you'd be able to get Colin and this woman out of the pit without any, there's not going to require any rolls or anything, and just take a little bit of time and effort. And Colin, face kind of beaming, which almost looks a little creepy given how like sunken and swollen his cheeks are from clearly how little they feed him.
Come here.
His limbs are incredibly thin. He has some difficulty standing. You lost him a while ago. He's been down here for a bit.
Here, we'll get you all healed
Artie,
back up.
Artie, I knew you would come. I knew you would come. I didn't give up. I didn't stop thinking. I knew you have so many friends. Are you from the other communes? Are you?
No, Call. They're not druids. They're friends from the city.
They always told me that I couldn't be friends with wizards, but your staff is so cool.
Oh, it's not so much a staff as it is a boomstick.
It's pretty magical, though.
It is pretty magical.
You have one too, and it's a sword.
I know! Isn't it awesome?
Listen, kid, you might want to sip water. I don't know how much they give you down here. Slowly.
And he'll take it like gladly and not
Don't-
drink it slowly.
No, I
Don't
like
drink
literally
it too
stop
fast.
it.
Yeah,
Literally stop it.
and I'm gonna start throwing some clothes on him.
He is in some disheveled rags, but at least with something. But getting him some water, cleaning him up, getting him something to put on from your pack. He immediately starts to do just an expression does a lot to brighten and look a lot better than the sad, pathetic figure Reth briefly glimpsed before he blasted himself out of the hall.
Hello, goodbye.
Oh, 13-year-olds are resilient.
So if you're not druids, who are you? Why do you have so many wizards and a goblin?
Well,
He's on fire.
realistically, you would just see a walking puff of smoke.
That's fair, I guess. You are just like kind of a smoky
'Cause I haven't-
goblin-shaped haze.
Oh, huh.
What is that an elemental? You brought one of the spirits?
I mean, I'm basically
I
a
didn't think we were
spirit.
supposed to contact the fire spirits. I thought it was too dangerous.
He is dangerous, but he didn't really give me too much of a choice.
I'm friendly, I promise. If you give me
I
a
hadn't
moment,
learned Ignan yet, but it speaks Haldane. Big talks.
if you give me a moment, I can show you what I really look like underneath all this smoke. My apologies.
And you have one of the... Oh, you're just one of the town guards. Who are you?
I'm John Zilla, a farmer.
You don't look like a farmer.
Oh, the
We do
site.
have a scythe.
The site's the farmer bit. And the
Do
tan.
you farm people?
No.
I mean, basically.
No. It's wheat, rye, barley.
My mom told me stories about the people farmers that live up north in the Cinderlands, and said that if I used to tell me when I was little that if I strayed away from the camp, they'd take me back to the farms.
So, that is not me. I do not. That's terrifying. That is not me.
For what it's
Why
worth,
do you have?
there's a lot
They
of
just
blood
kind
on
of
the
gestures
side.
at the bloody torso wrapped in a bed
We're
sheet on your
trying to
back.
give him a proper burial, so we're trying to get all his body parts back so he can be at peace. Yes, that's the word, right? Yes.
Oh,
God.
right, the legs.
It's the legs. Darren can carry those, actually.
Yeah, I
Are
guess
you
it's
sure
my
he's
turn.
Not a people farmer.
No, look. I'm going to actually pull the scythe down and show him the blade. There's actually a symbol of Aristotle that's emblazoned into the blade itself. It's tribute to Aristotle
He is the god of farming.
and family.
Well, to be
And
fair,
hunting.
if you were farming people, wouldn't
Those
you
are-
still worship the god of farming?
The god. I don't think. No, Aresta wouldn't like people farming.
No.
Well, it's still farming,
No,
ain't
no.
it?
John doesn't. He doesn't farm people. He will occasionally, Never mind.
Don't
This
say
is
it.
Darren.
There's no people farmer.
No.
I didn't. No.
Your mom just wanted to give you nightmares and make you afraid to leave the camp.
I know that. I get it. But like then.
No, like
sort of gestures at John.
no. He is just violent for good reason.
I don't like that phrase either. I'm not violent.
Well, you
I like a good fight.
super killed Cabbage Head. Wow.
Don't worry, I'll burn up the rest.
I distracted him. Yeah.
You did a very good job there too.
behind
Yeah, all
him,
the swings he swung at you.
Yeah. Oh man.
Darren, you.
Somebody, I know one of the people that the wizard man brought back. They tried to fight him, and they were dead by the time they got down in the hole. It's he sort of points back at one of the corpses in the pit.
That sounds about right.
So, but the question is, I'm glad we're reunited with Colin, your nephew, your cousin, your brother, your sister, or whatever he is.
What?
I don't
It's
know.
it's a joke.
This is my uncle Arden.
Yes, that's what they assumed.
I mess around with. Never mind. We've been joking, but I'm so glad you're here. Your dad is gonna be so happy. He never knew you were missing because I didn't want to
I
die.
thought you was his dad. I thought he was your son.
No,
No,
my
this is
brother.
That was a joke.
Arden's my uncle.
Yeah, my brother. That's my brother's son. My brother.
He didn't get the joke.
So how about that young lady then?
Yeah.
How's she doing?
She's sitting in the back. She seems to be a bit better off. She doesn't look like she's been here nearly as long, and she's just watching all this. I don't honestly even know what to begin with this. What is this? A weird smoke goblin?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sable Company soldier.
No,
apparently
not
a
anymore.
druid and
I got a gun.
just a guy with a gun. And whatever you are, people farmer.
Farmer. Zoom, what are you? Just some lady in a refuse pit?
More or less.
Okay. Fair enough. People thought it is.
What's your name?
Tiora.
Where are you from?
But live up in Old Corvosa. What the hell is this?
This is the lair of a dreaded necromancer.
Still not entirely sure what the necromancer is,
This
but
isn't
the
some academy
necromance.
project, is it? There's no.
Probably. Honestly, I hate this town and everything the academy is because they send out random things to kill you in the street.
But they don't just take people. I mean,
I think this is.
I think you're a prime evidence of them just taking people.
I think this is just
Good point, actually.
It's the work of
I
a
tried-
rogue.
look, I
No, he's a necromancer.
Not a lot of good work outside the docks in town. I came across, I guess is the guy who runs this whole place. Convinced him to part ways with a couple of coins. And next I knew I was here in this pit.
You stole from him?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, let's go with
Okay,
Stone.
yes.
Maybe you shouldn't steal from necromancers. That seems like a really bad profession.
How are you supposed to know somebody? He's a necromancer. He's an old Corvosa. I just figured he was some hoity noble that wandered a little far from his nice little estate and was looking for, I don't know.
You get to see his nice little estate. This is it. You're here.
Haha, yeah, okay, I get it.
Oh,
Here,
what
let
was
me-
the name of them there boats that we had to go look at the other day?
Eel's End?
Yeah, if you're looking for employment and under the table a bit,
I'm not gonna work for the King of Spiders. What are you, crazy?
I don't blame you, Zah. He's kind
I'm
of
sorry.
insane.
Look at where you are right now.
Yeah, and I think my odds are better here than they are on the Eel's End.
Here? Like, you wanna stay here?
No, I don't want to stay here. It's
I'm taking her out, but I
a phrase of speech.
Well, I mean, I think she can find her own way out. She seems pretty capable.
No,
I wouldn't work for manly powers. It
I
seems like a
feel
really
like-
bad idea.
I've only been here a day and I feel like I'm losing my damn mind. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to.
I would suggest.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Here, have a cloak. She's naked.
I don't. What?
She's in rags or
Sort of. I
whatever
can
she's
see
wearing.
things.
It wasn't bothering me until you pointed it out.
See, that's why I'm putting a cloak on you.
Oh,
Thank you.
um,
I guess it's the least of my concerns, given its
I know, but-
gestures at the room and the giant burning body of Cabbage Head.
But I didn't want to be rude and have you smack me later
You,
when you noticed.
You're
Look,
polite at the weirdest times. You know that?
you have the strangest priorities.
So
I don't want to
Look,
get smacked.
I appreciate the cloak.
For what it's worth, I don't think there's too much to be worried about down here anymore. There's been holes put through most of these things.
We're missing an arm.
If you're
oh, we are missing an arm.
Well, if you want to find your way out to the cave,
Don't
just
look like you got two arms.
No. We have to find.
No, the
is there a
body.
I
third
need to know
hole?
the story. Look. Do you? And she looks at Darren. You're Sable Company. You live in the city.
So much as Sable Company still exists. But go on.
What in the bloody hell has happened?
How long were you down here?
How long was I down here? I thought it was just a day.
Oh, did you know the king died?
Yes. It was yesterday.
Did you hear
It was
about
about 4 days ago, and the city's just gone downhill from there.
your queen is doing some
yeah.
very good reforms.
What happened to me?
You probably got knocked out. You've probably been out for a few days.
I think this.
As long as I'm not a part of that.
Hey, just be glad they didn't
Corpse
feed you to the
pile.
big old skeeters.
Oh, those are still sitting in that room, I say.
Look.
As long as we don't touch them.
I'll find you. Sable Company headquarters or otherwise.
Where?
Citadel Bolshevik,
Citadel
if you
Bolshevik.
want. That's the guard have kind of conscripted me. The Sable Company, as far as I can tell, doesn't seem to be operating anymore.
And here. Take this with you so you can get yourself resituated. I'll give her 5 gold.
Any food? Something.
We
I
didn't
have
really
food.
bring anything with us.
I have food. I've got rations. I always have rations.
We live in a city. You know what? Never mind. Yes, that makes sense.
Here, eat.
We live in a city.
I don't.
And she takes the. What are your rations? What are you giving her?
It's probably dried fruit, some dried meat, probably maybe a little bit of like bread, but not like bread,
Hardtack.
like hardtack.
And she'd take it and just rip
And
straight
water.
into this hardtack here. She's trying to get anything inside of herself.
Honestly, dip it in the water. It makes it softer.
I'm not even bothered with that at the moment, honestly.
I'm surprised you can even stomach to eat and all this smell, and
Well, after
I can't
being
even
in
smell
it.
anymore, if I'm being honest with you.
that's fair. Actually, I think my sense of smell's going too. So is my sense of hearing.
Yeah, sorry about that. You guys are kind of on the far end of the gun, ain't you? It's far enough away from my ears when I pull the trigger. It ain't too bad. Okay. All the bang comes out of the end with the hole on it. None of the booms over here.
That's not been my experience with firing a gun.
Well, that's because you've been using tiny guns. When you use a gun that's like 15 feet long, it's a little different.
I guess you know. That's
the gun-
you could
he's
be
the
right.
gun
He's the gun
expert.
expert. I don't want to know.
Whatever you are, guards, Sable Company, Thank you. Seriously,
Come on,
course.
let's
I
get
don't
out of here.
want to seem unthankful, but if you've made your way in like this, and she sort of gestures to Cabbage Head, I'm sure I can find my way out if you give me a direction.
Just go left.
Yeah, just go left.
Actually, we'll take you to the
No, left would take you
Actually,
back.
left will take her.
left. Will take
her back
to
down
the
the-
alchemy room, and then she goes down the hallway of death.
I'll
And then
give her.
you go
I'll
to a
give her
dead end.
actual
Get me to
directions.
somewhere where you can tell me how to leave.
I will give her actual directions because I'm the one who's been tracking
All right,
the
so
entire
go
time.
left through the alchemy
take
room
this
of
and look at
flaming
it.
bodies,
All right, I can do that.
and then go down the hallway
Get-
of 1,000 spitting skulls.
Get out of here. Go get
right
yourself some food and
into the
clothes,
room.
and be careful.
I've
The room where I shot everybody.
got a stash. I'll be fine. Don't worry. I'll find you. I'll repay you for this. What way I can.
You don't owe us anything. Honestly, you were just down in the
Shut up.
hole.
I literally owe you my life.
She
Oh,
does
okay.
have a point.
Do you see you? And she just points at the 2 legs that you guys have pulled up out of the pit. I don't know what they do here, but I can't have been far from turning into that.
You're probably right, actually.
Could we find the other arm so we can leave?
And Colin's just like, I've been here a while. Like they haven't. I still have both of my legs.
I don't think you're a good specimen.
They had you
Kinda
pushing a cart.
Scrawny.
And she sort of.
They were waiting for you to
Look over
keel over so they could turn you into a table or something.
Some Ed Gein
Thank
right
you.
there.
Tiora just sort of dips off the platform here.
Right
I
as
hope you have a wonderful day.
right as she's leaving,
only-
Flublin finally, perks up a little bit, and the smoke slowly just evaporates because he's had time to calm down his curse. Still a little kindling going on here. He's like, right now that I'm back and ready for business. You want me to burn the corpses just in case before we leave?
No, we have to find the arm first.
Yeah.
Why would you burn them? What?
So they can't be used
How
in
can they
the...
return to the earth if they're cinders?
Because ash is better than having them be reanimated and
It's
their souls being disrupted.
Oh, we had.
unless you want another one of those things, I
What is-
suggest you
we
let
have
me
to-
do my
we
job.
have to bury them.
Look-
We can't just leave them here.
Colin,
We're going to bury them. This is a crypt.
Oh, it is. Technically, if we just close the door, it works.
we don't
honestly,
even have to buns
we're
them.
already in
They're
consecrated
just left in
grounds.
stone. They're exposed to. Look at this rot.
Colin, we're gonna
That's what
cleanse
the
it.
fire's for.
Right, and I just go over one pit at a time.
Not
No, not yet.
Not yet. We're still in the room.
I'm gonna try to find
If
the
you
other
want to
arm.
experience hell in your nostrils, light that fire. Already running.
I'm gonna see if the other arm is in the one hole we haven't checked yet.
I checked all 3.
Oh, you
Floblin's
did.
lighting the pits on fire.
I'm gonna pick Colin up and
group
run.
you Colin and quickly retreat out from this
Yeah,
platform.
I'm sticking around.
No.
Burning all the bodies.
Well, we still got the
I
one
think we
path
should
over.
take our midstream break here.
I'm not carrying the
As
arms.
we all get knocked unconscious from the fumes.
I think Floblin should have to carry both the legs.
Hey, we made up. We're friends again.
Yay.
We've slain
Yay.
another one of these, a couple of these strange little gnomish creatures.
We
and
went out on a
all
limb for each other.
bested Cabbage Head, found Colin, and we're just one arm short of a corpse. Maybe maybe everything comes out great. Actually, by the power of just a lot of freaking crits.
This
Stay tuned to
is
find
a
out. We'll be
lovely
gone
room of death.
Maybe 10, 15 minutes or so. Stand up, stretch your legs, get some drinks.
Yes.
Don't go too far. We come back.
And just roll 20s.
Conclusion. Season 1 of The Hook and the Edge of Anarchy. Be right back. Welcome back, everybody. I have straight up no concept of how the break time highlights screen could freeze, but that's a new thing that can happen, apparently. So, as we left off, our party was quickly escaping the room that smelled bad, that was about to smell very, very bad. I imagine, since your options are retreat back to the grafting workshop or retreat back to the alchemy lab, probably going back to the alchemy.
Grafting workshop.
The rest of the tunnels that you could find here do quickly kind of loop back on themselves and intersect, and there only seem to be 3 actual destinations that are connected. So making way back to the alchemy lab with Colin in tow now. How's everybody look?
Ow.
Slammed into a wall.
I am
Slammed
perfectly
into a wall.
untouched.
I got a little bruise on me, but I'm okay.
I'm doing good.
I've been beaten up a little bit back and forth between the previous encounters.
The Sturge.
No, it wasn't even today.
Yeah,
like
it
a
got
little
bit.
technically-
We haven't dealt with that.
Yeah, this episode. It was
Okay,
definitely
not
today.
this episode.
Yeah, I was like, what hit you? But there we go.
Broken rib or something.
Making your way into this alchemy lab here. It is exactly as you had left it. No sign of Tiora, who has almost certainly just followed your instructions to escape. Why on earth would she stay here on purpose? Unless she is just a complete crazy person.
Also possible.
What do you do?
Heal.
Yeah, we should probably sit down and
Let's take a moment. Let's bond a little
just
bit.
a moment. Yeah.
Is Colin actually hurt or just
Malnourished.
malnourished?
As Red sits down to tend to, I imagine, his and John's wounds, or how many can you do with word medic?
2. Experts 2. But I have continual recovery.
You and John's, and then just Darren can figure himself out
Well,
later.
I'm fine,
Darren's
actually.
fine.
The heal got me
Oh, that's true.
topped
You're
off
pretty okay.
nicely.
So yeah, just you and John then.
For pain.
I can aid, I
Infections.
suppose.
You would have an
Technically,
opportunity
so can
to
you.
look
Yeah.
over Colin.
Could you look over Colin
He's
with me?
Yeah, of
got
course.
Some scrapes and bruises. He's got some like superficial injuries. One of his feet looks
Gone.
fairly heavily bruised on the front half of it, and it's probably nothing major. But as far as surface level injuries, he would have like the fundamental equivalent of a point of non-lethal damage. He is mostly okay. He just clearly has not really been
Can he
taken care of.
Can he wiggle his toes? And does he have feeling in
He
them?
can move them a little. He can't feel them super well.
I think
And he has some difficulty walking.
I'll try to see if maybe does he have shoes or any kind of foot coverings at all?
Take the
Unless you would have brought. I don't imagine you
I
had
brought
actual
wraps.
Shoes. Yeah, but you wouldn't have shoes.
point at the gnome. He's vaguely child size.
Does he have shoes?
Do they have shoes?
I was about to say, I would check the artwork.
They're not halflings.
No.
Ah,
He's got little toe wraps.
also
right.
Colin's like 13.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty
a
big.
tiny
He's not.
baby.
He's not.
He is probably like, I don't know how big is he?
He's probably tall and lanky like his dad.
Like
Probably like 5'4", 5'5" already.
that's what I was thinking. It was like 5.5 feet tall if you're going tall and lanky.
Yeah.
So he's not a whole lot smaller than the rest of you guys.
okay.
Just very much visibly younger.
Okay.
And very, very thin. His frame normally being rather lean. Combined with his internment here, he's almost skeletal.
If his foot is broken there, like we know that's a bad place to break your feet. You need like attention immediately, or you might not walk right again. So Darren's a little concerned about it. While they're getting treated, can I see if maybe I can try to stabilize it, or see if it is a fracture, or just try to treat him best I can?
Yeah, give me a medicine check for you, and then Wrath, give me a medicine check for you two.
I'm going to be actually helping him since he's healing himself as well. I'm going to be
Okay,
aiding.
you two
yeah.
are both doing it. What are you doing, Flobble?
Yeah.
You've refocused a bit. You've brought the inner fire down a little
You
ways.
take
Just a
8
little bit.
damage.
Jesus.
Wow.
You risky surging yourself too.
Well,
Yeah.
You also take 8 damage.
Do I not roll it
Just
separately?
one roll.
Oh,
You
we take
almost
8
never
damage.
roll separate things or something like that anymore.
I thought it would be funny that
well,
he takes 8.
while
I
I'm
take
watching
1.
these two idiots burn and somehow help each other,
So you see Wrath like almost like John almost passing out in the corner probably.
like I'm both intrigued and confused by this action, and it's like I feel like I should make my own little sitcom here. But anyway, I am not entirely sure. Let's see. I'm looking at the map real quick. Give me just a sec. There's not really too much.
Don't look at the map. We're not looking at the map. We're in
I mean
alchemy lab.
the map that we're on right
Yeah, don't look at the map. We're not looking at the map. You're in the alchemy lab. We don't need the map right now. Clear your mind.
now. Okay. I guess. Well, honestly, not too much. I'm just gonna watch the entertainment of these two idiots and just pull out a bag of bacon and
Bewildered disbelief.
So, I rolled a 19 for a total of a 30.
Hey, you did 16 damage for no reason.
Yep.
But now you both get 4d8 plus 10 back. So
So,
that's good.
I think this time I thought it was Alchemist Fire that was going to close the wounds, and I grabbed Bottled Lightning, and it seared the wound shut.
I'm glad we have risky surgery.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like
fun.
happening a lot.
I did 16 damage for no reason, and I might not even necessarily get that all back.
It's plus 10, so
Maybe.
Well, if it was 16 to one person.
yeah, you could
Yeah.
possibly not, right? If you rolled
Yeah,
Yeah, minimum
your
is
minimum would be
24.
24, yeah.
So that's 9. And
That's 9.
that's 9. So 28 for each of us.
Average.
Average. 28 to both of the two
That's
of you.
net 20.
Yeah, that's a net 20.
And give me your medicine check as well. Dan.
Okay, that's 18.
With an 18, as you're looking over, it doesn't. None of the bones appear to be broken. Clearly, it would be massively more painful to him if it was. It just looks like it might be fractured in there somewhere, possibly some of those footle bones. And
Phalanges.
you're not really
Isn't
sure.
that your fingers?
It is. Just wanted to
You're
say.
not really sure that it looks worse than it is. It doesn't seem like it's a terribly severe kind of condition. Something that will certainly go away when he is not left in like a rotting pit where it's not really dry and it's not exactly the greatest conditions. It might be some level of a minor infection that's making it look more severe.
Okay. I guess in that case, I'll just put a I'll just wrap it, and because typically what you do for broken toes is you tape the broken one to the toe next to it, and it's just
Tape all of the toes together.
just basically wrap the toes together just to keep it from at least he's not tracking it through filth and not stepping on like abrasive stone as he's walking.
And as you're wrapping his foot up here, you're in this place with this charred little gnome body and this smashed table. And Colin's kind of looking at this. Did you kill him too? Did you?
Oh, yeah, that guy? Yeah, he was running for his weapons, which are right over there. I left it there just in case anyone asked me about it the next time we came back through this place.
That's what you call justified.
Justifiable murder, yes.
This was awesome.
It's
My
not.
dad never even let me go out on the hunting or anything.
I don't-
And you're in here just like, just swinging back and forth and shooting magic out of your wizard staff. And he points over at Wrath and casting these fireballs and explosions.
It's very amazing.
I don't think.
Don't give him the gun, Wrath.
I
I'll
don't.
do it.
He would literally go flying if he pulled the trigger. I was considering pulling the trigger on this, though.
Don't forget what you've done with that.
I know exactly what I did to
He
it.
cut the string.
Because he is a
Scared for my
moron.
life.
Hold still for a
It
second.
is literally going to launch. And there's a squirrel in the tip of it, and I'm worried for everyone at the table. You probably should not have the popgun anymore.
I mean, I already have an eye patch, so I'm prepared.
I have concerns.
You're about to lose privileges.
I'll try to take
Don't
it from
steal
him.
my
It's gonna
cork.
get worse. But
Don't
you
worry,
guys, like,
I'm not going to shoot it until after the cameras are off, so there's no evidence.
You're like the Mendev Crusaders, fighting the demons in the World Wound. Just
You know what? The world wound doesn't seem quite so scary after the last few days in this darn town. I'll tell you that much. Oh, we didn't smash the table. That was like that when we came in here.
That
what
was,
happened?
I don't know, but
You think
I suspect
Cabbage
it's
Head?
on the other side of that door if they boarded it up like that.
Oh, Cabbage Head might have done it.
Nah, I
I
think
don't think
he's.
Cabbage Head could.
Could he fit?
I don't know. I couldn't really see out of the pit. I think I've heard him leave before.
Huh.
He's pretty large, but he's
I guess he's
squishy.
Yeah, I guess he squeezes.
How else would he get in
Pleasant.
there?
Yeah.
I feel like this is a better question for asking once we're outside of this place and like not here.
I think it's a better question to never ask again,
How do you-
actually.
where even is outside of this place?
That way.
To a left, then a right, then a forwards, and then another right, and then up some stairs to a bone pit.
Okay. Why are you collecting body parts?
We need the
Why are we
body.
only taking some of them?
We need specifically this body.
He's sort of a visiting prince that got killed, and we're trying to give his body back so that his countrymen don't make war on the city.
That guy was a prince?
Of
He
sorts.
just looks like he was one of those Cinderfolk from the north.
Yeah, he's
He
an
was a
important
Cinderfolk
Cinderfolk from the
prince.
north. They have important people.
Sort of looks puzzled at that.
Well, basically, there's some powerful people who want specifically these body parts returned, and if we don't do it, the city goes to war.
I mean, he needs the whole body.
Isn't the city? The city's basically always at war, isn't it?
Currently, it's,
You know,
it's
actually,
more
it
rioting.
feels that
How
way.
did they even
Ca-
come here to the city in the first place? That's not a really
Colin-
good detour.
Maybe I'll
Colin
move
is-
my
is
family.
right.
The
yeah,
Sable Company
Artie-
doesn't exist anymore. My family doesn't have the contracts. We should just leave this place.
Uncle Artie tells me that these cities, these civilizations are just basically always fighting each other. I mean, especially Corvosa, right? Hasn't it been at war with something for pretty much as long as it's been here?
I mean, actually,
Imps.
there's literally like whole populations of monsters that live in the city and harass the populace. So actually, you're not too far
Then
off.
what's even the point of the city?
Well,
I'm beginning to wonder.
This kid gets it.
I-
I've been saying this ever since I got to the city.
there's a reason why we only come here to study the shape that the stones take,
It's
because
somehow worse in the walls.
the shape that the stones take is the only thing that's worth studying about the
I
city.
thought all of their guards and their spears and everything. Like you guys aren't the whole point's to keep out the monsters, isn't it?
I thought that, but apparently there are some monsters that live under the streets that are supposed to be down there, and then there's these flying imp monsters. We have to rely on the flying dragon monsters to go and fight them because the imp monsters are just too much. We have other monsters to control other monsters.
Now that you mention
It's
it,
just really a terrible city now that I think about
Actually-
it. I've lived here all my life, but
You don't know what death will until you leave
it doesn't seem like it should be this way.
Actually, now that you mention it, that just sounds like the rest of the world because the village I came from was pretty much the same, except it wasn't in the village; it was around the village.
No,
Warring populations of monsters to keep each other under control.
yeah.
Oh, maybe
Our-
I just need to be happy
Glade-
with my life.
Our Glade is really nice. We don't have any wars, and it's beautiful there. And we praise the spirits that are around us. And
There's some nice nixies in the river, and I've seen a couple of. I met a couple of Griggs once that came by.
I don't know what those are, but
That sounds a lot like you got monsters.
but you're smiling while you say it, so
Well,
they're just
I mean,
pests.
I mean, I guess they're monsters.
Imps
I
and house drakes are
suppose.
pests.
They're like the Griggs, the forest musicians. They're the little flying.
Hold on.
so wait, that sounds like an imp with extra steps.
It's
Well, they don't.
I've
They,
never seen an imp before. Imps are what the wizards.
they don't really fight you so much as they try to lure you off somewhere.
imp corpse out of the bag
They're
that
like
we
the-
never turned in for silver. I still have the 2 imp corpses we're gonna take to the academy. I forgot to have these.
Have you just been carrying those in your bag the whole time?
We were supposed to stop at the academy to turn them in for silver.
Now, those are much bigger than a Grig.
Kind of just tossed a corpse off to the side.
Just not worth the silver
Not worth
anymore,
it
huh?
anymore.
Not anymore.
There's no sunk cost fallacy for John Tiller here. He's like, no, I'm done with this. That just kind of looks like a pallid fat baby with demon wings and little horns.
Here's another one.
Why do you have these?
There's a
attacked
bounty
us?
on them.
I told you, he kills things sometimes.
Oh, there's a pest, and you can get what? What was it? It's copper or silver?
I think it was a silver.
They do
silver.
just kill the things that they don't
I told you.
like. They
Yeah.
Well,
And
if
they
you-
pay you for it
Do you try
too.
to talk to them?
Yes, they tried to take his staff.
See?
And since they hit me,
They hit me
That's
too
not cause to
hard.
kill
They
them, is
stabbed
it?
me with a
No,
stick.
it's not cause to kill them.
and
Thank
they
you,
stabbed-
Colin.
They stabbed. They said did what? Demons, or devils?
I don't know the difference.
I don't know.
Is there a difference?
Is there a difference? I
Is there
don't
a
know. I got
difference?
yelled at once for getting it
I
wrong.
mean, there is
There is a
technically a difference, but
they don't belong here. They're from another realm.
Right, the wizards, like him, they summon them.
No,
yeah,
no, no, no.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're not. Never mind.
And they're not good.
I don't
Well,
really understand it.
I don't know. This is my first time in Corvosa, so I had to agree. It seems pretty not good. I'm
The house drakes are cute.
certainly not a fan so far.
No, it's. I don't like it here. We only come here when it's necessary.
Here you go.
Hey.
Them things you're talking about.
What is this?
Oh, those are those are
Oh, it's rather fancy, but yeah, that's a Grig.
Oh, it's a
The
haunted.
cricket. I mean, it is basically a large cricket, I suppose.
Oh, it's a large cricket.
It's a haunted deck. Yes.
But they're not exactly. Well,
Well, if you got something that looks anything like that near you, that's a monster.
that's an interesting caricature, I suppose. It's like if you described a Grig to someone who's never seen one,
So
and they
me.
tried to draw it.
Or me.
Did you make this?
No.
no. They came from a
It's
ghost.
Very well done. It's interesting. Why does he have a rapier stuck into a giant peach?
I don't know.
He was hungry.
I don't know what any of the cards mean, aside from the fact that they sometimes tell the future.
He has his own cards. You could draw another one of this card on one of his small cards, and it could just go on forever.
That's
You would need a very, very, very tiny utensil.
A very
I-
steady hand.
I love my cousin.
he has an he
Is
thinks in
that
interesting
you?
ways.
That's because we're teaching him to be wise.
Huh.
He's,
That's what Uncle Artie says, anyway.
Well,
it's a unique perspective, anyways.
it is. It is.
I feel a lot better now that I know my brother isn't going to kill me.
I feel a lot better now that I'm not stuck in the pit.
Well,
I-
getting you out of here is going to be important, but we just need to get one last arm, and I suspect it's on the other side of that door there.
Well, hold There's that other pathway we didn't touch.
Let's take the other pathway first
Right
before
around
we
the
open that
corner.
door.
Like through here, it just looped back around on itself. We checked it.
No, there was the other one right before the cabbage boy.
Right. I'm pretty sure it just looped back
Yeah,
around
the
on
tunnels
itself.
just kind of loop around it.
Yeah.
The very small one loops around?
Yeah.
Ah.
So we got to go through that door.
Oh, well, Floblin,
Yeah.
would you like to burn a door?
That's going to take a while.
Yeah, but he can do it while we stand away from the door.
That's a good
Colin,
point.
stand over here behind us.
Artie, how did you bind a fire spirit?
He works for Bacon.
You
Bacon.
found him in the trash can, just be honest.
I mean, they're not wrong. Duncan!
You throw out a produced flame, and it flies out and is on the door.
I thought your
Singeing
fire's a little
bit from one
stronger
of
than
the
that.
boards.
Alrighty then, I'm just gonna go prise the boards off the door.
Maybe there's a magic ward on it.
Does anyone have a crowbar?
Load.
Get your gun ready, just in
Well,
case.
I do have a
Yeah.
crowbar.
And I'll actually load my gun
Can I
and
hold
get
it?
ready.
So
Crowbar.
you get your guns loaded up and ready. It's gonna take Darren a couple minutes of work, or John a couple
John
minutes of
with the
work
crowbars.
to pry these off of the wall here, as they've been nailed with almost like climbing pythons into the stone alongside it.
Why is this? I feel like we really shouldn't be doing this. This is a lot of work that we're just wasting.
There's
Well,
an
we
arm
have
back
to
there.
Check
I
everywhere.
guess you're right.
If we'd found that arm by now, believe you me, I wouldn't open this door either. But
And as you pull the last board off and even start to open the door blasts outward, knocking John back 5 feet as a horrific creature surges through the doorway out towards freedom. It's got a face almost like a vulture, looking somewhat like this patchworked structure of body parts you'd seen back in the workshop, but instead of individual parts, it's just layers of different bits of skin, variety of different shades and textures to each other, some from animals, most not even looking human. One claw almost looks like the hand of a falcon. The other claw looks like a lion's paw, as this thing jumps out with a rat-like tail twirling behind it and a hideous guttural screech coming out from its beak.
oh well, this is awful
Hey.
looking.
Oh, that is nightmare fuel.
Someone owes me a drink.
I need you guys.
It's this dude.
I don't even have a weapon now. I just have a crowbar in my hands.
If you have a crowbar in your hand.
Oh, snaky goblins.
Hey.
Hey,
Can
unlucky
I
number.
roll stealth since I'm already in cover, like waiting for this
Yeah, if
thing?
you're in cover.
John
really fast.
Crowbar
Also,
Tiller.
Exploration,
Since I-
but
Yeah, but if you're like in cover, I'll
Yeah.
give it to you.
And since I was not using a shield, I kind of switched back to
Ooh,
scouting.
thank you for my
You're
19.
crowbar the door open.
Yeah,
Oh, you can scout.
Yeah, since I
see
don't
what you
have a
mean. I see
shield,
what you
yeah.
mean. Yeah, I've misinterpreted.
yeah. Thank
Um,
you.
So you got scouting, got +1 from John. Is very ready at the doors opening. Arden,
32.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Very nice.
I am protecting my cousin.
Wrath,
I got a 19.
Floblin,
22.
John.
22.
Who wants to go first?
I'm going.
Guy in the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him go first.
Darren.
24.
You go.
And this
You glow, Glen Coco.
thing,
39.
20.
Okay.
Feeling better.
Just barely faster than me.
All right, Arden, as you see this thing burst at the door, it stops for a moment and kind of looks around, its head sort of twitching and gyrating on like a strangely human neck as this vulture beak. It clicks a couple of times towards,
I want to throw them.
oh, it got the wrong token. This one's huge.
Never mind.
Yeah, hit again.
Why not? They're roughly the same size, right?
Because he is only a medium-sized thing.
Delay.
Darren,
Hunt, prey, shoot it.
I cast
ducks.
gun.
I cast
My
gun.
most powerful spell.
Hey,
Cast gun.
that's a 29.
And as you take this shot, make me a fortitude save. Why doesn't everybody make me a fortitude save?
Everyone? Okay.
This is breathing things. Breath control help on this.
Ooh, awesome, I'll take
as
it.
you feel like a putrid wall of rotting stench roll out from this thing, somehow exponentially worse than any naturally decaying bodies you'd come across throughout
I
here.
want you to know that when we rolled for initiative, we both rolled 13s. We rolled for this fort save, we both rolled 15s.
All right. DC 19. If you failed, you are sickened one.
Okay, second one. It's all right. I was
Got a
sick anyway.
19.
Any critical success? Effect? Okay.
I've been around
It's
garbage
less
all my life, so I am definitely resilient. I got a 25.
So 29 as you shoot this thing, as it's just framed perfectly in the doorway here. Absolutely going to critically.
All right. Oh, nice.
baby.
Money. All right, so that's 15, 20 plus 1 for gun, 21, 42.
Whoa.
So it's definitely going to do a bit less than that. As even with the concussive blast of your bullet, it resists both bludgeoning and piercing. As this thing's just a kit-bashed heap of flesh that absorbs that pretty well. But it's still going to take the vast majority of that damage, and the bullet is literally going to stagger it back a little bit into the doorway. And you see it raising this like lion paw up, and then reaches back with the raven's claw to grab something off of the ground to swing with, and comes back with a tattooed arm overhead, ready to club down at John with it.
Oh, God.
Let's use the thing we're looking for to hit me with.
Running reload. Slide to the corner and reload.
Slide to the left.
Slide to the left.
Jump in.
Arden.
And now that I've seen it move and I've seen it get hit, I would like to try to figure out what the heck it is.
Okay, give me a Arcana, or what's your Arcana or your crafting?
Crafting or nature.
What's your crafting?
Oh, crafting is +7.
Secret checks.
You look at this horrible amalgamation, and it's clearly a stitched menace of some kind, but I mean, this kind of magic, this kind of construction is absolutely alien to you. You have no concept of what this thing can do.
Light it on fire. That usually works. Igneous. Produce flame.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a point.
Burning hasn't failed us yet.
Just made the room stinkier.
That's going to be a 21.
21 will hit. And as it hits, this flame kind of catches a little bit across its body. It is going to take 12 points of fire damage.
Oh, okay.
In addition to roll damage?
Nope, it is going to take 12 points of fire damage.
Okay.
Okay.
From the, and it doesn't seem like your spell fizzles across its body, but the physical fire manifested by the cantrip burns the thing's like actual construction fairly effectively, searing away some of the stitching and blasting up on one of its shoulders.
Light it on fire.
That's what I do best.
John.
All right, then. Well, drop the crowbar. Not an effective weapon. And in one motion, I see his arm raised. I grab the scythe and just bring it down on his raised arm.
Yeah, roll.
Yeah, so one action to pull the scythe out, one action to attack. 16 on the die plus 13, so 29.
It's exactly a critical hit.
Woohoo!
This is ridiculous amount of
Scythe
crit.
is-
Size are deadly.
Deadly D10. So
D10? Nice.
Yeah.
Need one?
Yeah.
Yep. So an extra D10. So
Percentile die is your deadly.
yep. 3, 8 plus the 4, 12. 24 plus 7. 31.
It does not resist slashing damage.
Y'all made fun of me for bringing this ice.
What happens, Sean?
Oh my god.
Really?
Oh my
Dude.
god.
You guys have literally rolled nothing but crits today, of course
That's,
you said.
yeah, okay.
If you only crit them.
It's literally just one good slash down all his force and bringing back. As he kind of scoots back since Darren left out, he falls backwards, bringing it and taking the arm off and go, oh, that was actually rather.
As the arm comes off of this thing, its beak's still kind of clacking. It doesn't like collapse like a person would. It almost just sort of locks. It's not immediately apparent that it's dead, as it just sort of wobbles and rocks, almost like it's getting ready to swing something at you. But then it just imbalanced, sort of tips over and hits the side of the door frame. Just set there, exactly rigid in the position it had when you lopped off that arm. No blood or gore sprays forth from this wound, but it's almost like a burst of gritty steam that comes out with a hiss, almost pneumatic, out from the side of this as it just stops moving.
Interesting.
Huh.
Oh, then you get to carry the arm.
Oh, great.
Oh, also, here's your crowbar back. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What was that?
I have no idea.
Monster of innumerable nightmares.
It was a creature of despair and an abomination, and we shall not think of it again.
Push it back into the room. Close the door.
Crafting plus 7.
Sort of trying to look back from the other side. Colin's clearly trying to see this thing. You are fairly certain that this thing here is what is known as an écorché. It doesn't really have much of the skin left as its body. You see, as you look at it here, it is mostly tendons and muscle fiber, with only a couple of these bits like the falcon claw and the lion's paw that still retain a bit of fur or scale. And this thing is a necromantically reanimated, just undead heap. But you've never heard of one being stitched like this before. You thought they were... I mean, I guess it's not like you've ever experienced one in your life, but it's a horrible
thing.
variant of one.
Yeah, someone made it. Well, this is... you're not wrong. It is a horrible abomination we're never going to think of again, but it does have a name.
Let's not. I'm just going to get the arm.
The thing is,
Eckerschwab.
most undead is not only vulnerable to positive energy, that thing was actually extremely weak to it.
And fire.
Fire also works good, though. Fire is like healing. Saren Ray does both.
Saren Ray Cleric shows up.
Fire
It's a
is
job
close
for me.
to healing. It sounds like a job for the Dawnflower. Burn or die.
I mean, Labica would have helped too, but you know.
I guess I'll disarm him.
I've already done that.
Yeah, you pull it out from its little clamped kind of falcon claws. Colin's still just watching. This is like,
Push the body back into the room. Close whatever's left of the door.
why? I don't understand. How do they make this? It's just
Don't.
parts. It's like,
It's foul magic of the worst kind.
But it's
And-
nothing that our magic staffs here can't deal with.
That did a very good job. That was a very good, impressive
Why
shot.
do they even-
I've gotten better.
why do they have magic like this? None of our magic can do that.
No,
Why
but
would you
because Colin,
create something like that?
remember how I told you that the world is based on equal and opposing forces? For there to be good in the world, for there to be good magic in the world, there must be evil to oppose it, or else there is no balance.
I get that, but I know that's what.
That's just the natural
But
order.
why? This is awful. Why
I
does
know.
this have to exist for that to be good? You can say that it can be teachings, but there's nothing that could excuse this existing.
That's why we kicked the door down and shot it and stabbed it till
Oh.
it stopped moving.
I pried the board off. It kicked the door down.
Fair enough.
And then it got shot and stabbed. And burnt. Good job, Loblin.
Oh, I mean, Auden, but the
It's
thing.
Auden.
I
Really?
didn't get a chance to
I,
play that.
That
I,
was-
I can also use fire.
I just saw fire fly by my
I
head.
don't usually do it because it's his thing, and I don't want to steal his thunder or
polite.
anything. But it's
It was necessary.
It was necessary.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Well, then we got the. Let's see. We got.
Well, Colin, if you don't like it, practice, train, grow stronger so you can take these things down.
You
That's
will
the
you will
heads.
you will learn, and you will eventually be able to fight evil in your own time, but not today.
Why'd you learn to throw fire? I thought you told me 1,000 times. My dad told me 1,000 times. We don't commune with the fire spirits because they're
This
unstable and dangerous. He's looking at Floblin.
Unstable
like-
and dangerous.
All you have to do is feed me, and I'll pretty much do whatever is necessary.
there's a difference between communing with fire spirits and using the magic of the earth and making a partnership with it. That's all it is. It's just it's a conversation.
You know that another word for conversation is communing, right?
Yes, but there's no spirits. There's just they're just fire.
I get it. I'd never gotten that before, that's all.
But
Communion.
I
Okay.
don't.
I was confused by what you're getting.
I'm just confused by the whole subject of topic.
Fire bad.
Fire.
Well, fire's really useful, though. You can cook food with
No,
it.
that's the subject. It's fire bad.
fire.
Fire, nothing.
Somebody made this thing. Somebody did this on purpose. Somebody made magic to make this mockery of nature.
Well,
the same
if-
person that put me and so many other people
Yes.
in a dark hole underground to turn us into monsters.
If it was on purpose, I don't think they would have barred the door.
No, I think it was on purpose, and then it was more than he could handle.
Had to.
Because he sounds kind of stupid. For a man who's so smart to put corpses together and make them dance,
Look,
he's pretty dumb.
It's the whole bad family, honestly.
Yeah, the whole Lam family is kind of awful, actually.
This is what cities are like.
Not all of them, just this one.
I don't know.
I don't
Is
think-
it just this one?
I think this isn't the city.
Then why don't we fight them?
I don't think.
Why don't we
this-
fight the guard and their soldiers?
because the guard are just people doing their best to protect the people who
To
live here.
protect this?
No.
You know,
no, we shot
Nobody
that.
who protects this
Colin.
allows this to exist.
Colin.
Could be good.
You know these type of people hide out in the woods too, right?
Not that I've ever seen.
Bandits, marauders, raiders,
Roving tribes, fair goblins.
yeah,
What?
the
Not
roving
your-
tribes of goblins.
They don't
Feral
really
goblins.
get anywhere near our
Feral
camp.
goblins,
They
not
mostly
feral goblins,
die if they come within about a mile
hobgoblins,
of.
wargs,
Yeah, not-
orcs,
But those are just things
individual
that
goblins.
exist. Those are like the wargs are vicious, and we see them as evil. But what they do is natural. A human did
Now,
this.
hold on. Wolves are natural.
Wargs are natural.
Wolves are
Wargs.
natural. No, well.
Wolves are natural. Wargs are just evil wolves, right?
Right?
So you
I mean, it's,
Like look, I get.
I think a wolf that attacks a family
Wolf's
on
not
the wolves.
smart enough to invent magic.
no,
Well-
evil's natural.
That's what I was
This-
trying to get at. It's maybe
is good.
it may be horrible, but it's here, and this is why we teach our children the lessons we teach them.
We don't like it. We live with it.
I barely live with it, to be honest with you.
And this is why I don't. This is why I didn't want you to see some of this yet, because you're not ready to think about it, and I don't want you to think about it. This is a time in your life where you should be learning the basics, and you're doing really well. You're really impressive for your age. You're going to be better than your father. You just you don't know it yet, but you will be. You're doing great, Colin. This is just it's too much for anyone, and especially someone as young as you.
And
Yes,
Colin,
exactly.
My dream rock. Is this? When I'm confused and I hate everything, I rub this rock.
Well,
It's
you
a
know,
filter.
I feel like this has been a very inspiring conversation. Here you go.
I mean, I don't
Hey,
have a rock.
I need my
but-
belief rock.
Well, you're definitely friends of Uncle Artie.
I don't have a
Listen,
rock, but I have this rusty shoe.
Humor
like this
is a
musty shoe that I've been
fantastic
holding on
coping
to.
mechanism.
It's best not to think about all the dark undersides of the entire world, because then you'll just go mad and probably end up doing this. These are just insane people
I would not
who like to
ever
hurt
do something like this.
other people's, like to push their limits, find power wherever they can get it. They take shortcuts.
I really just wish I could get a girl to talk to me.
Didn't you go to that?
No,
what is
shh.
it, the
We're not
birds on the
talking about that
clouds
right now.
And spent an entire night.
Yeah, they talked to me. That's true.
Right. Anyway,
Can we leave?
Yeah,
Start
we're
Yep,
leaving.
here?
Well, We got one arm, 2 legs, a torso,
With an arm.
Oh, we got all the
We
the arm
got,
attached.
we got everything. We
and
got the
a
head. And we got everything.
I think we got everything.
I think we got it all.
guys.
Right, let's throw it all in a bag and get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
I thought we want to make one person carry around an entire corpse. That's weird.
I mean, for you, probably.
let's
nuts.
go back to Citadel Altarian, please.
Where?
Oh God.
It's been a long day.
Wait, I thought you said
Citadel-
you don't like cities.
It's
Citadel.
certainly been a
Citadel Bolshevik.
realistically incredible amounts of crits notwithstanding. What would be a terrible and exhausting day for everyone involved. This place has truly been horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure it is something that, as much as the group of us would all want to, will not ever be able to easily forget.
Well, I'll be coming back here with a few kegs of black powder, and this will all just go away.
I think I'll help you with that.
Sounds like an
Actually.
excellent idea.
I mean,
Let me
I
know
could
if you need
just-
any help with that.
I mean, I could just burn everything.
No.
Well,
We need to
No.
harass
We're
I'm gonna
we're
take
getting
all the
out
stones
of here.
and collapse them.
So
Make
no
a
one
big
else
old
comes second
sinkhole
here.
of the whole thing.
Don't sinkhole the graveyards.
Whole thing.
Whole
Gone.
thing. Yep.
The entire graveyard.
Omelets and eggs, John.
All of it.
Omelets and
Omelets and eggs.
the dead are resting up there.
Yeah, now they're going to be resting down here.
There's going to be resting a little bit lower.
I think that's a really bad curse
I'm really
to sinkhole
I'm
the
really
entire
confused
It will
why
still be
omelets and
buried.
eggs have anything to do with the ground.
It's a
Rocks and
saying.
stone.
You
Why is it
can't-
a saying?
You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Not
actually.
yeah, you can't.
if-
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
What if you boil the eggs?
Then
Yeah.
it's, then
That's
it's a
not an
boiled egg and it's not an omelet.
Oh, I can't tell the difference because eggs are eggs.
No. I'm leaving.
I would imagine that we're having this conversation as we're leaving.
I'm speeding up. I'm walking even faster.
He's walking a little bit
Making your way back
Now,
out
John,
to
just
the,
because you don't like talking
the
about omelets,
staircase that emerges back out into the edge of Potter's Ward here up in the Grand Cemetery. The group of you put the dead Warrens behind you.
Way behind us.
Very behind. Very, 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 very behind us. Never to be experienced again.
Hopefully.
Please
Small
no. Yeah.
world.
Take us to the bar.
So as Colin comes back up, it is probably like 11 in the morning at this point. I think he'd been down there for a couple of hours.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him to cover his eyes, and we're gonna introduce him
And
back to
even
the light
just, like-
really slowly.
On the stairwell, literally before the door to the crypt is even open, just opening the trapdoor above, just that ambient light causes him to immediately crush his eyes shut, put his hands over his head. Oh,
Yeah,
welcome to the surface.
we're gonna,
why is it so bright? What happened to the sun?
because you've been
And
down for
like
a long.
again, the door to the crypt is not even open. This is literally just like the little shards of light that are coming through the seams. of
The
this
same thing
door.
happened to me when I would
Small
come out of the
windows.
mines. You have to wrap your eyes for a minute, and I'll guide you, and then we'll reintroduce your eyes to the sun slowly.
This is the same it was before?
Yeah.
No,
No, it's not. That's no.
no.
ridiculous.
While he was down there, it got closer.
I'm gonna beat
I
you.
thought it got bigger.
Both.
You
Did it?
both.
You know what? That might as well happen. Sure, why not?
Yes.
Sarah and Ray just came down, took a look at this little boy, and was like, "Let me scoot that 5 feet right over there."
Would you stop messing with him? The kid's been traumatized enough. He doesn't need to think the sun is coming closer.
I'm
He's
not
the one who thinks the
traumatized.
sun wasn't bright before.
Fine.
Have you ever tried looking into the sun directly?
Don't do that. It's
if you
bad
hold
for
your
you.
gaze at it for about 10 seconds, you'll see spots.
You're saying like stare it down, show it who's boss.
Yes, exactly.
We used to make a contest out of it. Who could stare at the longest without looking away or blinking?
That's how Floblin lost his
Well,
eye.
you're going to need
The
Actually,
sun came down and took it.
I mean, I could stay in the sun all day and I'm absolutely fine.
Oh, that happened to me.
The backstory of Derek's life.
Backstory.
Oh man.
I'll show you, son.
I have terrible stigmatisms. I did used to stare at the sun a lot, though.
I believe
I'm
that.
sure they're
explains
entirely
so much.
unrelated.
What is this?
It's a graveyard.
What are all of these? This is a graveyard. Why are there so many buildings on it?
Those are fancy gravestones.
Weren't you pushing a cart down this thing just like not a few days ago?
No.
No,
No, I
that was
think that was the-
definitely
Oh,
not
other
him.
small
That was the
footprints were all the
body.
tiny
I mean,
small
The society check
people.
was to know what the nuns were.
I get it now.
Why are there so many weird carved rocks on everything?
Because people like to spend money.
To help remember so the names and family history. Let's not talk in the graveyard. I don't want to be in the
Let's
graveyard
keep
anymore.
going.
Well,
This is all graveyard. This whole thing.
To answer your question about the building,
How
sometimes
many people died here?
at
lot,
least
a
3.
lot.
Maybe 4.
It's been a rough week.
Sun gets
like-
closer.
It's like a whole city to itself.
The city of the dead. Yeah.
Like, this is more people than I could have thought existed.
I will
Must
be
be buried
laying
here.
siege to the city of the dead in about 3 days. It's gonna take a while to get that much gunpowder.
All right, where are we going? Uncle,
Come on.
are we going home?
It's eventually, yes. But first, we're going to take you to
I don't want to stay in the city anymore. The city's horrible.
Well,
agree
we
with
need to
him.
get that foot checked out properly.
Yeah, we're
if
gonna
we don't
take-
get it taken care of, I don't know. It looks probably it's fine, but I want someone who's a bit better at this than I am.
We're
to look
gonna
at
Why
it.
can't we go to Clastra? Clastra can do it.
because we're very far away from Clustra. I want to take you to Citadel Bolshevik first, and then and then we'll go
Just
home.
take him straight to Alcetta's ring.
Do we have to?
Just for a little bit, okay? And then I'm gonna call your
It's
dad.
so bright. What happened? It's
buy him
been
some
like
rock
3
candy.
minutes.
Oh my gosh, you complain a lot.
It
You know
reminds me
that?
of lots of Auden, actually.
I mean, there's definitely a relation there. I can
He's
say.
13, and he
Yeah,
just
and he's-
spent a week and a half in a crypt
He's
watching
16.
people get eaten.
That says a whole lot about you, don't it?
What happened? I missed
think-
something.
And then in 16, he about died.
A few times actually.
A lot. And I'm 20, and I about died a few times.
It's been a rough week.
See? Come on.
So you all sound like Arden.
Well, yeah, you're not complaining. I know you want to.
I mean, I
I'm playing with gunpowder. I'll take care of
Yeah,
it.
you're about landing in a pile of feces.
I mean, I almost die every day, but I'm
Almost.
used to it.
I'm actually feeling amazing because I got Colin back, and that's really all I care about.
That's good. I'm actually very. It doesn't sound like it, but I am very happy for you.
Hey, actually, interesting question for you, Arden. Where are you going?
Back with you guys.
Yeah, but what the... You got your nephew,
Yeah, but
Son?
I made an oath.
brother, child.
Cousin.
What?
But my point is, are you taking him home? Are you gonna go with him?
I'm
Well, you've
gonna-
got to take him home.
No, I'm gonna have a party come in and get him, and I'm going to stay here and finish what I started with you.
Like, you gonna finish watching the city fall down? Because that seems to be the direction it's going. I'm thinking Colin might have a point, to be
I
honest.
don't get why anyone would stay here.
Because I took an oath.
What time of day is it? You said like
like
11
11
something.
in the
11.
morning, yeah.
All right,
Ish.
I'm gonna go buy you a hat.
It's the Band of Badgers!
Thank you for the raid. Perfect timing.
Ooh.
Well,
So I'm gonna buy him a big straw hat.
Yeah, this boy needs a
Something that
hat.
covers up his little baby boy eyes.
as you get walking out of the Gray District here and making your way back up towards the northern wall and towards Citadel Bolshevik, he would slowly start to adapt. Boy who has been stuck in a cave for like 2 weeks, if not more, comes around super quickly. But he does start to get better and only kind of squinting his eyes a bit as you walk through the streets there, just sort of
We'll get him a
looking
hat,
down.
thick sunglasses.
And the biggest problem is that he
whole package.
clearly wants to like look at everything as he's looking around at these huge buildings and these streets you're walking through, and he's very interested in the clearest silhouette the city has, the Castle Corvosa, off to the northwest. It's basically visible from pretty much anywhere once you get past the walls of the Grey Ward up on its massive base. But you reach Citadel Bolshevik without any difficulty. And as you make your way in, what are you doing? Where are you headed?
Gonna take
All
him
right.
to see the medic. And we're gonna go.
Give me the leg, or give me the arm.
Well, yeah, I guess we'll go see the captain first because I want her to see my nephew, so that she can know it's him, so that I can then take him to a medic.
Go see the captain.
That's fair.
Marshall.
I'm after the body parts, place them
dropping
directly
off-
on the desk.
Actually, I think we should take the body parts to a more appropriate place and have the marshal come to the body.
Let's take him to the quartermaster.
You're gonna fetch
No.
the marshal?
No,
Nice.
we're gonna go to the marshal, but first we're gonna leave the body parts with the quartermaster.
Why
sounds like a
are we
terrible
doing
idea.
that?
No, we're not doing that. I just don't want to drag a body through the whole citadel.
What? We're carrying it in bags.
We literally got tasked by the field marshal to bring the body back.
There's also only like 10 people in this whole citadel.
Yeah, I'd be
And we're
surprised.
5 of them?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Who are we gonna run into?
Or 6 of them. Sorry. Sorry, Colin.
Well, after taking Colin over and leaving him with the other medic's ward to make sure that his foot doesn't get any worse, the group of you end up making your way back up to Field Marshal Croft's office with your various parts of Gaedren's body. And you arrive to see her sat back in her chair, much like when you had first met her. And her eyes light up a little bit as the group you arrive. Oh, please, good news, I hope. I hope good news.
Want the bad news first? Bad news first. The body's in pieces. Good news is we have all the pieces. Fast, easy. Like that.
Yeah, rip that bandage right off, didn't you?
Yep.
I don't want to be around bush.
I have to hope that'll be good enough.
We're not our doing. Mind you, we didn't do
I
it.
would hope not.
Why would you? Yeah, no.
You guys get weird misconceptions
What?
about me.
Oh, I'm
Hold on.
sorry.
That's
sorry.
not the
I don't.
entire truth. You had to cut the head off of a
I
fleshy body
did
piece.
have to cut the head
I
off.
don't mean to laugh at the situation, but it feels like that's the only avenue left to me.
Please
To-
laugh.
I mean, we
It's
could.
comical.
I mean, we could put it back together if you want.
You're really pretty when you laugh.
Now's not the time to
Now,
flirt.
on distracting
Look.
news, we found Arden's nephew in a refuse hole.
We found
Oh,
him.
that's fantastic. That's I mean that unpleasant location, I suppose. But if he's all right, that's fantastic news.
He'll be all right. We found another girl too, and we set her free as well.
Anyone freed from Rolt's grasp is certainly a good deed
Oh.
done.
Oh,
Her name is Tiora. She said she'd be stopping by to thank us, but I'm not sure what with. But
Bad
she might show
news
up.
We,
Keep
is-
an eye out, I suppose.
we killed everybody.
The bad
not
news
everybody.
is we didn't see Mr. Lamb. We saw Mr. Lamb Senior,
Who was brought back to life as a
but we
zombie.
didn't
We
find
fixed
the
it.
son.
We didn't see Rolf. He
So that
wasn't there.
means he's still out there doing whatever nefarious things he is doing.
If anything, it was certainly too much to hope that after all the years that he's been around, it would be so simple to put a close to his story.
Oh, while we're here, I might need a permit for some explosives from the city.
While you're here, I have titles, and I'm not sure that.
You can't just say things like that.
Just a blanket permit, be fine. You don't need to know what, you'll find out.
You have
It's
some
good
news?
that you returned rather quickly.
Were they about to
need-
go to war already?
No,
Okay.
this may be for the greater good, honestly, I'm not sure. Miss Fontaine's trial has concluded. Queen Iliosa has announced the assassins to be executed at sunset and invited near everybody of nobility, military officers, anyone of any proper import outside of the Sable Company and the Corvosan Guard, very notably, to attend the event. I don't like this.
Can we stop it?
I'm afraid it's a little bit too late for that.
If the trial's concluded, was there evidence? Is it a public trial, or do you at least have access to the file? Do you know what happened?
I have told you everything that I know about their findings in the case. I know that the matter has been investigated by Castle Corvosa under the guidance of the Queen, and that she was found guilty of the murder of King Gaedren. Of poison delivered through his tea, I believe, is the only other information that I have.
I'm
But
sorry, I don't buy it. Neither
would
do
be
you.
Careful with your words, perhaps, as many would find statements such as that tantamount to treason. But it is a bit of a peculiar circumstance, I will admit.
If the queen says that that's the assassin, it's not like I have any way to refute it. I don't have any evidence myself.
It is a public execution. I would ask that the group of you be there in my stead. I'm worried that the event may trigger another bout of riots. The city's been on edge well enough, and though things have calmed down a bit since the announcement that Miss Fontaine has been taken into custody, I don't know how the people will react. And it would be seen as a play were I to travel there personally. or even to station any of my proper retainer of guards. It seems that once again, I have to beg the group of you for help, but this is just kind of motions to the packages that you've delivered. That you were able to get these from Roll within just the span of a short few hours is nothing short of a miracle.
That's what we do.
Can I leave Colin here till his dad and other family can come get him?
If you brought him here, of course.
I brought him to the ward medic.
That's more than okay. He's welcome instead of a Bolshevik, and will protect him with what power I can.
Thank you.
I
We'll go, but I
hope
don't like it.
that this event heralds the end of Corvosa's recent troubles.
Who's providing security at this event if there's supposed to be no Sable Company or Corvosan Guard there?
The Royal Guard themselves, the Queensmen.
In other words, there'll be a lot of bloodshed if people get all riled up.
And there's not that many of them.
This is going to be a disaster.
Yep, absolutely.
We'll find a place
Why
that's safe.
I want the group of you there. I know Miss Marin is heading up security herself, the Queen's left hand. I believe you were introduced to her before you arrived here at the Citadel.
She's scary.
I saw her, yeah.
Honestly. Her and the higher echelons of the Royal Guard are absolutely a force to be reckoned with. Something that I don't even believe the Order of the Nail or any chapter of the Hell Knights would be willing to go toe-to-toe with should matters call for it. And I don't think that the general public would be so inclined, but consider this one a request of a personal favor. This isn't official business. This isn't a mission for the guard, but I'm asking you, not as Field Marshal Croft, but as Cressida, to attend, please.
Fair enough.
Field Marshal, the last thing we'd want to do is put any more pressure on you. If we can do this and it takes something off you, it'd be our pleasure.
Are we to... I don't know. Are we to
Are we
observe?
going to be in disguise? Are we going to kill people?
You know Miss Fontaine. You were the ones that apprehended her initially. If nothing else, just go and ensure that everything is what it appears to be. Not to place any doubt on the Queen's words or the validity of this event. If this is the beginning of Corvosa's strife, so be it. But I want it to be on proper terms and in the way that it should be.
You should hear the way her neighbors talk about her. She's kind. She gives money to everyone in her neighborhood. She didn't leave when she became wealthy. She stayed and tried to build her people and her family and her neighborhood back up. That's not...
I have served in this position for long enough to know that the most terrible of villains can come from the humblest, purest of backgrounds.
If you say
so. I understand your intent. This does not, by any means, indicate that Miss Fontaine is innocent of the crime. And I suppose on the surface there's no reason to doubt the Queen's investigation. But just... It would put me a little bit at ease to have capable sorts that I trust on hand.
Yeah, we'll go.
We'll go.
Not a big deal.
But my heart tells me it's wrong.
Well,
Your
thankfully,
heart is wrong. I truly do.
So,
thankfully, laws and morals are not the same thing.
to change the subject, where should we take the corpse? Because I'm sure you don't want to leave it here in your
No,
office.
I will handle this.
See, I told you bringing it here is
I-
the right thing.
I'll handle this personally. I want to make absolutely certain that we set things right with Thousand Bones, and that this slight against his people is as well settled as it can be. A gruesome task, but the seat of Field Marshal is not all glamour, I'm afraid.
Feel free to keep the sheets.
Thank you for your kind offer, John.
Field Marshal, I would say one other thing. It occurs to me as I've been traveling through the city, with the Sable Company effectively disbanded, there's a great number of, well, unoccupied but very skilled Marines in this city. If you were looking to expand your clandestine force, you could ask for no one better.
There's a point I'd considered myself. Were the Sable Company to be wholly dissolved, for as the moment the commanding officers and your general in the city have disbarred, but the organization itself still exists. I don't know if the Queen or the Sable Company, well, how exactly they plan to proceed, but should the worst come, Citadel Bolshevik would certainly welcome practiced hands.
Worst case, having some people for some side work is always useful, as I hope we've demonstrated well enough.
I've only worked with a single Sable Company Marine in my long tenure directly, and he has done nothing but make me proud.
Thank you, Marshal.
I don't think she was talking about you.
I think she was, actually.
That's just a joke.
Oh.
I was joking.
Oh, I see, yeah.
The execution is at sundown in the square out front of the castle itself. It is certain to be a busy event, as not only the aristocracy wishes to attend, of course, to mirror themselves with the situation. It is an event of the city and one that they will never pass on to raise their own personal status. But a great many of those less fortunate throughout the city, of course, have been terribly distressed in the wake of the king's passing. I expect this to be quite a packed event.
Darren, I've never seen a public execution before. What is it like?
I haven't seen one myself, actually. They're not terribly common here.
Well, it's very public, and someone dies.
It's a little gruesome.
It's not until sundown, so you have the afternoon to yourselves to rest. Looks like I don't know what happens to you down there, but
Bath.
I got thrown into a pit.
Of refuse.
I'm glad the group of you are all okay. Clean
Bath.
yourselves up, make yourselves presentable, rest as you can. Make way to Castle Corvosa maybe an hour before sundown.
Right. In that case, let's go get some grub and some rest, eh?
I don't think I can eat, actually. I don't have much of an appetite. I don't...
Yeah, I'm gonna go
I don't
wash the
wanna
stench
eat.
off.
At all.
Frankly, you all smell awful. So
like we
Bath.
crawled through
I mean-
a graveyard full of rotting corpses.
Maybe we could find Rith just based on his scent alone, or not.
Yeah, I think we can.
Right?
Rolf.
Rolf.
Like the Muppet,
Rolf.
but
Maybe we can find Rolf just off his scent alone.
I think
He's
most
been living down there based on what we saw.
those sheets were his.
Well, the group of you make your way out of the Field Marshal's office as with a smile, gives a quick salute directed towards Darren, who looks across the group of you before standing to start to organize this pile of severed body parts and facilitate a new meeting with Thousand Bones, leaving the rest of you quite a few hours to clean up or rest as you can before the evening's festivities.
Yay!
I'm gonna get a message to the small group that's outside the city waiting for us, telling them just in brief what happened and requesting that someone come and pick Colin up.
Okay. So you spend some time trying to contact your
no,
colleague.
animal messenger.
Oh, sending out an animal
Yeah.
messenger. Sending out a freaking squirrel to just go figure it out.
Yeah.
He'll be fine. Don't die to an imp on the way out the door. Best of luck.
Pretty much.
Dragon.
Brett, what are you doing?
Circle of life.
Cleaning my gun. I don't know if I'm gonna need it,
You gonna
but
bring it? You gonna bring a giant cannon?
absolutely.
He doesn't go anywhere without it. It's comfort
fair.
gun.
I don't have to.
Comfort gun. Smoking like a true Floridian.
Look,
Emotional support gun, sir.
children have teddy bears. Dogs have their like little squish balls. Reth has his gun.
If the crowd gets riley, and
We'll
I have
just
to
fire
deal
into
with
the
it,
crowd.
I just shoot it into the air, and everyone pisses their pants.
He's got a point.
You can't be mad when you got warm piss running down your leg.
It's a scientific fact. You can't piss brace yourself and stay mad. Isn't it proven?
Nothing de-escalates a situation like waving a gun around.
Exactly. Especially when two of us have guns.
Yeah, it's just even better.
2 guns make the piss even warmer.
Two guns.
That's rule 1 of improv, I'm pretty sure.
Wave a gun around. You'll see some emotions real quick.
I hate all of you.
Maybe we don't bring Russ.
No, it's fine, Red. Set this one out.
This is good.
bitch you.
We're not
He'll
going
be
to tell
sitting
him where it
nearby
is.
on a rooftop or something.
Oh, my face hurts.
That's the person you shot.
God, bringing Floblin is so
Floblin.
much safer.
Loblin, how about you?
Well, I guess I'm a little tired and I'm still a little smoky from that little bit of a crawl underground. So I'm gonna make myself an extra hot coal bath and just lay on the coals and meditate and get my good night's rest all in just a couple of hours.
It's like 11 a.m.
Good night's rest.
Good day to you, sir.
I said good.
I said good day.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Let me reiterate. A fire goblin power nap. There you go.
Okay. The power hour.
With Brendan Cost.
John.
Bath.
Bath. 6-hour bath.
Like a 30-minute bath. Just,
And then
As in-
another.
Now,
And then
fortunately,
another.
the barracks here, they don't have a bath. They have this like communal showering area that was for the main barracks for the guards' use. Not so much a nice bath you could just sit in, but a warm shower you can just stand in.
30-minute warm shower.
That's even better.
Then going to get new armor, new clothes, new everything, a whole new outfit because this one's just getting tossed in the fire.
This is going in the trash. Yeet.
Going shopping.
Can't take this anymore. It's ruined. It's
And-
been drugged through Deadland.
Yeah, it's gone. It's
Where's your meat? You got the
In
meat?
the hole.
This is a couple of kobolds from a previous campaign. Yeah, this is before you. This is Age of Ashes, book 1. Darren.
Definitely washing the stench of crypt off me. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a different outfit. Something that doesn't scream Sable Company as the people who are not invited to this thing. Yeah, disguise. Here he goes.
Again, this cape.
Brand new mantle.
Nice little
New mantle?
Oh, okay.
He needs a new one. The
last
other one
one.
got acided.
yeah, that's the other one got acid.
So it's mostly dissolved by spitting skull traps.
Yep.
Yep.
But I want something that's going to make me look like not a Sable Company Marine and hopefully fairly incognito, maybe with a scarf I can pull up. Because I am bringing my gun in a case.
You want to? Okay. I was gonna say you want to bring your gun, and you want to have a scarf up over your face.
Not-
That's how you want to arrive to the party. Just clarifying that this is the thing that you want to do.
Well,
just show
I-
up like this with a gun.
I'm hoping.
Stick him up!
I'm
gotta-
just double checking that that's the thing you
I
want
gotta
to
rob the stagecoach.
Guys, I heard the queen's gonna be right there.
She's gonna be there, right? On that thing? All right, just and I can get within 50 feet of that, right? No. But no, I'm not planning to assassinate the queen. But that'd be wrong.
That's treason.
That'd be wrong.
We can't do that. That's against the law.
It's against the law and it's wrong. Both things. It's both of those things.
So you derail the campaign immediately.
GM throws AP over his shoulder.
And this concludes the Curse of the Crimson Throne.
Yep. Hey, we saved Corvosa.
No, the whole city's dead. Queen's gone. Everything falls into ruin. It's now 15 city-states divided up.
And I'm gonna go live with Arden in the woods.
Just going home.
So the group of you sound like you're mostly spending these afternoons, other than Wrath. I mean, inside the table, you doing things. Arden's getting an animal messenger, making sure Colin's okay, checking with the medic ward, organizing
And then
things,
taking a
then
bath.
Sent back out, then taking a bath. I didn't know druids took baths. I thought you just relished in smelling like literal garbage.
We relish in smelling
No,
like...
that's my job.
I'm okay
burning
with smelling
garbage.
like the woods, like chalk.
You want to smell like a car air freshener.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Wet dog.
Wet dog, that's fine too.
You
Viscera?
you are gonna
Clean my
spend
gun,
your day
get covered in
cleaning your
oil,
gun,
and then clean myself.
ready to hopefully
Hopefully not have to shoot into...
not just blow
yeah.
somebody's brains out in a random crowd. And the three of you
not
are
to
relaxing,
commissar somebody.
relaxing, and getting a new wardrobe, throwing out everything that you had on you in the Dead Warrens. Keeping the weapons.
Huh?
Keeping the weapons.
The weapons are important.
The blood smears across the side. They're a mark of honor.
I'm cleaning that off.
It's
Those
the
are getting
evidence
washed
of being
off.
a people
Sure.
farmer.
And
I'll put scores into it instead.
as the afternoon passes, whether together from Citadel Bolshevik or individually, the group of you would eventually find your way over to the grand courtyard in front of Castle Corvosa. Those of you that lived here have seen this used for a variety of different things throughout your years growing up. It's been used for festivals. It's been used for proclamations. If you've been here a particularly long time, even coronations or presentations of new nobles, announcements of royal children, anything of interest to the crown, or it is the most desirable possible rented space for any other kind of temporary or traveling events. And today is no different. As you arrive, the area is in fact largely packed. A lot of the city's population isn't so much out in the festival square directly, but kind of hanging out around the main thoroughfares that lead into this area, watching from a distance. As you can see, the centerpiece of all of this, at the far end of the courtyard, at the foot of the citadel's base, castle's base itself, is a large wooden platform that has been erected, atop which is mounted a towering 12-foot-high guillotine with one giant sharpened iron blade knocked in its top. There are an assortment of what are functionally the front row seats for this event. Some well-carved, fancy, padded chairs set around in a few rows before the stage. Those that are not already occupied by garishly dressed nobles gossiping amongst themselves, sat with small folded placards for the house or family they've been reserved for. And on the back side is but a single high-backed wooden throne set up on the stage itself, just in front of the guillotine. It is a truly interesting affair, and one that I feel like merits a small fourth wall character break to give perspective to this. Because obviously to our modern sensibilities, this seems horrible, but to Corvosa, to these people living in Galarian, in this almost like medieval feudal society here that loved King Gaedren, this is like a gala. This is a public event. This is a festival. This is something that the nobles and the common folk alike have arrived to in high spirits, like it's a party. So the whole city can cheer together as the assassin of the king loses her head.
It's supposed to be a joyous event.
It is very much a joyous event.
A high-priority criminal has been captured and sentenced to execution for proof of everyone that they're being punished for their crimes.
And it is something, I mean, obviously, that the city has quite literally been rioting for days and weeks, almost the downfall of the whole of Corvosa. It is something that people desperately want. And it really feels like a grand ball that you're walking into, not a grim and morbid execution. Smiling faces, fancy drinks, happy chatter amongst the nobility, sat in these seats or gathered around a bit closer to the stage and to this guillotine. And none of them know what you think. None of them know this woman. None of them met Fontaine. Most of them probably don't even know any concept of who she is before she arrives. But for this, I'm going to preface by saying that the official Sirenscape sound set was really freaking cool. And I'm going to stop for a moment and place down a couple of rails because it is going to be a minute of presentation and description here. But you will be allowed an opportunity to voice your thoughts, or even if you're insane, intervene, object to the wedding, whatever it is we're here to do.
Just let me know when the cutscene is over.
You'll know.
Okay.
But as the sun begins to set, the chatter starts to die down, the seats are filled. The event is about to begin. A huge man with a black hood and an enormous axe stands near the side of the stage. There's a band behind it. Drums and horns begins to play, capturing the crowd's attention. You can see some movement, some shuffling from the far end, back at the base of the castle. And to these sounds, the queen herself emerges, dressed now fully as the sole regent of Corvosa. An incredible green and white gown ascending the stage, attended to by a dozen red and silver full-plated warriors wielding massive halberds. She takes her seat. The executioner leads a small figure up on the stage, hands tied behind her, ankles chained, limiting the steps. She walks over towards the guillotine. The executioner turns her around towards the audience, removes the bag from her head, revealing, of course,
Fellow Corvosan,
Fontaine.
you have suffered
Queen speaks.
these past few weeks. Homes have burned, family members have died, and fortunes have been lost. I feel your suffering, for not only have I lost a beloved husband, but with each act of anarchy that followed, my heart bled more. This has been a trying time for us, yet the torment is at an end. Before you is the source of your anguish and pain. Do not be deceived by this murderer's timid nature. She is a black-hearted assassin. I offer you her death as a salve against the hatred and hurt you have suffered. And so, without further delay, let us usher in this new dawn with justice. Off with her head!
The executioner pushes her down to her knees and begins to lift up the wooden seat for her head. As he puts a hand back on her shoulder, put her neck down in the device, leaning his weight on the haft of his massive axe. A dagger strikes him in the back, flying out from the crowd. And a cloaked figure, hooded and garbed in black, leaps up to the stage. With a single flash,
My queen, let us usher in justice. But let that be justice for Corvosa, not this shambles you call a monarchy. Long live Corvosa. Down with the queen.
he whips out a dagger, slashing it through the bonds behind Fontaine as the crowd erupts into a clamor of yelling, all shouting over each other. Some calling for the, of course, the assassin's head, the execution to continue. Some calling for the downfall of Blackjack. But as this figure appears on the stage, a wave of dissent shoots through the audience. Many of them now suddenly clamoring for the Queen's downfall. At this, as Blackjack takes the stage, Queen Iliosa is immediately, quickly pulled from the throne and escorted back away into this huge huddle of these steel and red-coated guards, shepherded back away from the stage. And in this madness, many of those same guards attempt to move towards the stage. But through this massive throng of raging, quickly forming mob violence around this, they have difficulty pushing forward. This all happens in an instant. And just in the moment that Blackjack rips his dagger up through the bonds behind Fontaine, you see the executioner behind him, staggered from the knife sticking out from his back, still leaning on the haft of his axe, has started to recover. He staggers around a bit and pulls the axe back up over his shoulder, looming over Blackjack. Can you do anything?
Is anyone paying attention?
Everyone, a lot of people are paying a lot of attention to a
Yeah.
lot of different things.
Wanna throw-
No one's looking at
How
you
f-
guys.
How close was I able to make it to the
You are
standard?
probably 30 feet back.
I'm throwing
from
a
the
javelin.
stage.
I brought all my weapons. I'm throwing a javelin at the dude.
Javelin at the
At the executioner.
at the execution.
Yeah, I'm about to sling stones at him.
Yeah, just literally a javelin tosses out.
Rest of you, stunned, shock here.
I
not
am
watching.
sneaking away out of this chaos.
Goblin's like, that's not me.
Reth didn't like it, but that's the rules. He's not gonna help, and he's not gonna hurt. If she gets away, he might be happy on the inside, but he's not gonna act on it.
I have never felt more conflicted in my life. Absolutely.
John, make
Darren
an
is
attack roll.
paralyzed.
That's 17.
That is a 17.
For the javelin, it is a total of a 26.
The javelin sails out over the crowd above the heads of the nobles, and nobody around you even seems to notice this throw, as totally enraptured as they are by what has taken place on the stage here. And as he reels back this huge axe, Blackjack, for the moment, seeming to be focused on helping Fontaine here, the javelin sails out and strikes him in the shoulder, spinning him back as he sort of topples back into the guillotine. Immediately getting Blackjack's attention as he looks up, grabs Fontaine by the arm, and quickly runs off towards the far end of the stage. At this point, a few of the guards, these royal elite, have made their way up on the stage, the other end of the guillotine, to begin giving chase after him, as he attempts to quickly rush Fontaine back towards the edge of the stage and towards the closest edge of this little festival ground here.
I am going to call up a mound of rocks shooting from the ground under the two legs of the guillotine where the guards have rushed up to try to give chase, and I'm going to try to bring that edge of the stage down so that they, as they try to get up, they just fall through.
And as this sort of topples this guillotine, lifting the whole of this up, slowing the guard's approach, he ducks around the backside of this, around past the band, where these absolutely flabbergasted folk with their little horns and their little drums quickly shy out of the way, not wanting to cross whatever is happening here, as Blackjack and Fontaine quickly make their way towards the base of this castle. Blackjack moves with an incredible practiced alacrity, even trying to help Fontaine along with him. He makes his way up almost effortlessly. Arriving at the top of this 20-foot tall base the castle is perched upon, well now ahead of any of his pursuers. He looks down to see where a couple of guards are reaching for crossbows to try and ready something. And he pulls out his rapier and holds it up out to the crowd. For Corvosa! Where there are some scattered cheers throughout the audience, barely audible through this mixed rage, some fists raised in the air in solidarity, for him and Fontaine dip around the corner of the castle wall and out of sight. Now this looks like this might just turn into mob violence.
John, up high.
I don't know what you're talking about.
In the madness that has taken the festival here, nobody seems to have noticed the source of the javelin or the rubble. A couple of the guards you can see are, the ones on the stage in particular, have been tangleness guillotine falling over, looking around, trying to find the source of this. The executioner has just slowly kind of rolled his way off the side of the cage and is trying to get the javelin out of his shoulder, being tended to by a couple of clerics from the castle as well. But this is exploding. The common folk on the outside are trying to push their way in. The nobles in the middle are trying to get out. Everybody is crashing together in this massive ocean of enraged bodies. Nothing has become overly violent yet, but this situation, in a blink of an eye, has completely fallen apart. Some of you that have lived here might be familiar with blackjack. Some of you might think of it like Colin does the people farmers, not really sure if it's a real thing or not sure if it's just a bedtime story. But blackjack is seen probably by anyone who would have told you about them as a hero. A mysterious caped crusader who has brought some of the worst villains, some of the worst gang leaders and evils of this city to heel, where the guard, the royal elite, and the Sable Company have been unable to. His motives, why he does what he does, who he is, all completely unknown, other than that he is, especially for many of the common folk, an absolute icon of good in Corvosa. You who live here, definitely Darren and Wrath and probably Floblin, would certainly know enough that regardless of what anyone's opinions is, him specifically intervening in this will have turned half the city against the crown. No matter what they thought before.
Well then.
Oh
What are
my
you all
god.
doing?
Reloading my gun.
I am going to use my prescient planner for the day, and I'm going to reach in my bag and pull out one of those huge, like, loudspeaker things that, like, makes your voice louder.
Like a bullhorn?
Yeah, a
Like
bullhorn. And I'm going to hand it to Floblin.
Oh.
Calm everyone down.
What?
What?
Tell everyone that everything is okay, that they're going to make their way calmly out of here, and that the guard will be taking care of everything. Do it!
You expect me, a fire goblin, to tell people to calm down when normally when people see me, they want to kill me?
We're just going to put you behind me, and we're going to pretend it's me, but it's going to be your voice.
All right. He kind of like tries to shimmy behind Arden and gets the bullhorn ready. It's pretty big for his tiny goblin hands, and he's just like, okay, try to follow my lead, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't even know what I would use at this point.
Performance.
What are you saying?
I mean, I do have performance. Attention, everyone. Listen to the dark-haired person standing on the stage right here with the green cloak and who's fond of rocks. Remain calm. I promise you that everything will be fine. The royal guards will settle things in just a moment, but please escort.
And as you speak, you see Floblin's hair start to rage and burn, and the back of the bullhorn explodes in your face. You take 8 points of fire damage. As you feel
6 because
you
fire
take
is it.
8 points of fire damage.
Really?
As for the first time, you feel this fire burn with an incredible pain as it hits you. It's not the pleasant feeling that you usually have.
What?
It's agonizing across your face. And as that hits, in the immediate aftermath of that, you feel your hair stop, and everyone else you would see it douse entirely, and he just kind of looks like a regular little red goblin for a moment before it flickers back.
Whoa.
Common in
What?
the crowd is anathema to Lamego.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Ah.
Anathemas.
I forgot about that.
Oh.
Look what you did. You almost put out me hair.
And this explosion causes a ripple of panic through the area around you as this very
Bloody.
visibly kind of blasts in the goblin's face. spurring everyone to probably the next level up of panicked scramble as the nobility. Some of them turn to try to command these guards, these royal guards behind them to clear them a path. Some flee back towards the stage. Some just try to bowl their way through all of the crowd around the outside, forcing their way to freedom.
Oh, that's not gonna look good.
Let's just try to get the kids. Let's try to keep people from crushing kids.
Is there like a side way I can see a way out of here?
Kind of in the midst of this. Around towards the stage and the castle base is the quickest way out of the area.
All right, come on, this way. Maybe we can take some of the nobles with us. I'm going to try to make my way through the crowd to get where it's less crowded and move it this way, and I'm going to try to wave some of the nobles with me. I'll look authoritative, but I don't look official.
You're trying to, command this. Make me diplomacy or intimidate, your choice, because you're not trying to force, you're trying to, command a way through the crowd here.
We're trying to force through the crowd, but...
Trying to bring people with you.
Yeah, bring the people with me is really, if they don't want to follow me, I'm not gonna...
maybe athletics check.
Athletics check's about much easier, thank you. Hey, I'm decent at that. That's a 23.
At 23, you would be able to sort of push through and start making a hole kind of at an angle towards the corner, past the corner of the stage from the back of the festival grounds, so the rest of you could follow along. A couple of the beleaguered nobles would follow with you as you see another of these guards take the stage and reach up and pull off this full helm. You see the face of Sabina Marin for the second time now. But this new armor that she's wearing, matching the rest of these royal guards, this red and silver, very, almost loud armor they have, an extremely visible.
Oh my god, that's
exactly like that now.
Okay.
So Power Rangers.
She holds
this. Pretty much.
She holds this helm in front of her and starts to try to call out something to the crowd. She's clearly incensed, pointing out towards the main castle roads that lead out of here. You get the feeling she's just not too much more effectively, but at least not exploding as she attempts to do this. The group of you dip your way out of the festival grounds, making your way around the base of Castle Corvosa, out into the surrounding areas, ending up the east, back in the Midland District once more, away from this clamoring mob.
We should really go back and make sure that the kids weren't hurt.
How do you know you won't make the kids explode, huh?
I think we should just go back to the Citadel.
There's not much we can do here.
I really don't like this.
Maybe we should go tell the captain about it.
Go ahead, I'll escort these people home.
Oh, okay.
You have a small little group of maybe 4 or 5 terrified little nobles, one dragging a small boy along behind her that will follow you out of here.
How was I supposed to know horns make you explode?
Actually, I'm gonna
I honestly forgot, and it's not so much that,
Okay.
but it's what you asked me to do.
Now, you still have your powers, because you're not a cleric.
Yeah.
So if Mom didn't say, power's gone.
Basically, she
just
gave me-
expressed her displeasure with
Yeah.
you.
Labaiko's just
Basically
like,
what happened.
I'm going to give you a minor curse if you do it again.
Oh, I'm gonna blow that ass up, boy.
Get ready for some bonitis.
A little warning from Labaiko Mom.
I completely forgot about that as a character, or as a player, I should say.
As a character, too.
As a character, too, apparently.
That's fair. It's a very unsettling
Would
situation.
Floblin even really know?
He doesn't even know the real tenets of Labaiko.
He knows maybe.
Apparently not.
He's got
hold on.
religion. He's got religion.
That's true. He's trained in religion.
That was a 6 on the die, so that's a total of 13.
He knows she loves the explosion, Mom. He doesn't understand why she's mad.
Why are you
So
mad at
let me see if I
Not
can
a
figure out.
cleric.
I'm going to see if I can figure out.
Just because
why
I know
that
about it doesn't mean I'm good at
You
it.
heard about this once and you
What?
decided you wanted
Floblin
to
just
live
explodes sometimes.
your
That's
life.
how it works.
That one.
I know exactly why this happened. Arden, did you put some of my gunpowder in that microphone?
I don't think so.
mean, that would
That was
explain.
definitely a gunpowder explosion.
I mean, that would
I rolled a 1.
make sense.
No, that's what I mean. That was definitely a gunpowder
Yeah.
explosion.
I mean, it was in my bag, so I guess I could have gotten mixed in with some
That would
stuff.
explain why it burnt differently.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Floblin.
You're
I'm
lucky.
not letting you touch my gunpowder anymore.
I didn't. I mean, okay.
I'm not taking
It's
strange
not
objects from
tasty, I
any of you.
promise.
I'm with him.
We don't know any.
We're getting these people home. I guess we'll meet you all back at
You two
Citadel
are
Bolshevik.
helping return some nobles. The three of you heading back to Citadel Bolshevik?
Yeah.
Or were
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Flop, are you running and hiding? Because you were trying to just run away.
Yeah,
right?
I was originally just trying to get out of a bad situation, and then Arden kind of just was like, "Hey, you should
Hey,
do the
hold on,
same."
wait a second. Are you staying with the party, or are you gone? Are you just out of here?
I'm a little grumpy, so I'm just gonna be like grumble, 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 and get out of here just for now. I'm going back to my dumpster.
So the two of you, are you both heading back to the
Yes.
Citadel?
Yep. Going along with Arden, making sure that there's no more somehow gunpowder explosions.
Arden and Reth
Shouldn't have been gunpowder in the
make
bag.
their way back to Citadel Bolshevik. Making your way immediately, I assume, back up to Field Marshal Croft's office. And you would very quickly leave this riotous mob behind, as it is, at the moment, very localized on an event. Word hasn't spread yet. As you get out of Midland and back down towards the Citadel, you could believe that everything was normal if you hadn't just been there 5 minutes ago. And up to the Field Marshal's office, as she sits there, you open the door and she quickly writes herself. Of course.
That was way worse than you thought. It was way, way, way worse. You know that guy Blackjack, that legend thing that people talk about, like in bar songs. Well, he actually appeared and he cut her bonds off and he kicked a bunch of guards' butts and he took her away. And then now half the city is in revolt.
So,
Damn it!
good news. Execution's been rescheduled.
What happened to Fontaine?
She's fine. She's off with
and
Blackjack.
gone. Blackjack's like, well, you're mine now, and then left. Kind of picked
And
her
the
up
executioner was
left.
kind of injured, but he's
Why
going to be
now?
okay too.
What if
Had to make it a public show, I suppose.
it costs the life of one woman for the sake of an entire city, innocent or no? Is that not a sacrifice Corvosa can make? Nobody's heard anything from Blackjack in years.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, I mean, granted, I'm not the most legal-minded or I guess even
You got rocks for brains.
city-minded
Finger
of
curls in the
people.
damn monkey's paw for
But-
invoking that name, asking for his help with the damn show auntie.
I don't really think that. I don't think that one life is worth sacrificing
No, you're-
a city for. I think one life is worth dying for.
No, it's. You're right. I'm sorry. I let myself hope that whatever investigation had taken place, this would have been the end of things. Now of all times, a hero of Corvosa.
She was innocent.
You don't know that.
I'm pretty sure.
We don't have any proof in either direction. We were simply just the ones who delivered her safely to the people who investigate.
Well,
It's gonna hurt your brain too much to think about if she is or isn't innocent.
Well, not really. Now that she's not here and she didn't get executed, I feel way better about it.
Well, yeah, but
This could have
just
been
in
over.
general.
Corvosa could have put this behind herself.
Whether she was guilty or not, her death would have quelled a lot of things. And I'm not going to say that I'm sad to see her free, but
But
it would have been
This is-
easier.
Thank you, both of you, for the news.
Yeah.
I'm
we
afraid I have a lot that I need to prepare.
we tried to get some people out, but I mean, I think we did.
Yeah, we got a few people out of that right. At least they won't be harmed.
Yes, I'm not surprised. That's right. Of course it is. Thank you for for helping me with this. Thank you for going. I apologize that this stuck you in the middle of yet more of the city's problems, but
I mean, I really think that you're a really, really good person, and that if anyone is going to do the right thing, it's going to be you.
We'll see
I'll do
through
as
this.
much I can do. Seems I have less say in Corvosa's fate than one goddamned hooded figure showing up out of the night whenever he damn well pleases to interject himself.
I mean, if you had the freedom to just walk around and do whatever, I'm sure you'd make a huge difference real quick, too, especially in front of half the city.
I mean,
I'm
just
not going to pretend that I've never been frustrated with the mechanisms of bureaucracy, but the laws exist for a reason. You can't organize things by what you as one person feel, how you think things should go. That falls apart at the scale of a city. This is thousands of people that have to be dealt with. If their fates are not one man's to decide, I'm sorry.
No, you're right. Unfortunately, as it is, he overstepped what should be his own boundaries.
Blackjack, hero of the people, has done nothing but cause endless problems for this city every time he's arisen, and I'm afraid this might be the worst of them.
Well, not if he gets the queen like he said he would.
I appreciate your assistance. Please, I have much I must do. Thank you.
All right. Well, let us know if we can do anything to help.
And no, I appreciate you going for me. I do. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that outburst.
No, it's fine. You're under a lot of stress.
It's unbecoming the field marshal of the Corvosan Guard.
Yeah, but you're...
Well, that'd be if you were dealing with your fellow guards. As far as we're concerned, we're just
people. And your
drill
eyes...
sergeants to yell at them. That's not generally my purview either.
And
Well, you can yell at the drill sergeants, can't you?
you could yell at the quartermaster. He yells at everyone else. Your eyes
Just-
get real pretty when you're angry.
Go rest. I can't imagine anything else that I, the city, could possibly ask of you now. It seems like if Blackjack wants it to be his problem, so be it. The hero
Maybe I
of
shouldn't have
Corvosa
said
deal with
that.
things.
I think we should go before I say anything else.
I'm going to take you to go meet the quartermaster, Arden. Don't you worry. We're going to get you put right in your place.
But she is real pretty when she's angry.
The three of you, again, as you make your way out from the center of town, most of the nobles that you find, fortunately, live over at East Shore, which means that once you make your way out to the Midland and make some distance, there's a couple, one that lives over the opposite side of the Citadel Crest, but unwilling to make his way back through the mobs around Castle Corvosa, also just agrees to go stay with some family in East Shore for the time being. Meaning that your journey takes you across the bridge into the furthest reaches of the suburbs, the greatest distance from the heart of the city. Out almost wholly detached, separated by the whole of the bay of the Jagari River from Castle Corvosa, Citadel Bolshevik, and all of the city's woes. And in fact, it's almost at this point like walking into a different city, as East Shore shows zero signs of all of the struggles that the city has had. It's the first place that you've traveled in the last weeks that shows no signs of the vandalism in the wake of the king's death, no destruction, no burns, no smashed windows, no ruined doors. It looks simply like it always has. You return the families to their estates with no real difficulty. The mother and her boy, the furthest to the north, the last that you would arrive at their estate. As they rush up the door, as it's opened by a rather confused figure that the three of you actually recognize. And kind of cocking his head as his clearly terrified wife and child rush up to the door. The kid running inside, the wife throwing her arms around him. Armin Yolento, the man that you saved from the mob so many days ago. It looks out across the three of you. What happened?
The execution was interrupted. Blackjack himself, so it appeared.
Blackjack?
City
Blackjack's
is,
a real thing?
or someone who looks like him.
Saw him with our own eyes.
It's okay. Did you save my wife? I'm like,
We got her out.
well, I suppose everyone in this estate owes you their lives now. You've saved the whole family.
Well, I I didn't expect to.
And as she's calmed down a bit, he kind of puts a hand on her shoulder and just kind of, not a couple of words, ushers her inside and steps out and under the large awning on his wide covered porch with some fine manicured, cultivated little rose bushes growing down either side, and closes the door behind him. I can't believe I'm saying this to you a second time, but I don't know how to repay you.
I hadn't thought on reward, but it's
Well, this time, fortunately, I'm not besieged in the middle of an alley or darkened street corner, and
glad to see
I have
you
the
back on
amenities of
feet.
my estate. Please, I was readying dinner for my family's return. Could I at least invite you in?
I'd be happy to accept dinner.
He's
I
extremely
mean, I like
happy.
food.
And he kind of looks at you and just nods. First time I've hosted a goblin folk, that's for sure. I hope none of our customs offend.
Oh no, if you give me food or something to burn, I'm happy.
Well, then please.
Please tell me you have a very strong drink in that
I
house.
hope none of our customs offend to the trash gremlin. Okay.
He doesn't know.
He's very polite.
Probably the first goblin he's ever met, much less hosted in his estate.
Second time. Second time he's ever met this
Second
goblin.
time he's
Yeah, I was
the
about
same
to
goblin.
Yeah.
What are the odds? And
Probably very high. There's only one floblin in the entire city.
the three of you would be invited
the world.
into the Yolento estate for an evening's meal and drink, and very thankful entire family now. A boy very much kind of confused, and the wife just in disbelief that these are the same people from the last time he showed up at home. Beaten, but there is the end of the Edge of Anarchy. There is the end of the first chapter of the Curse of the Crimson Throne. The city of Corvosa, it seemed like perhaps it may, at some cost, at least know peace.
All right, so fantastic. Can I shoot the gun at the breastplate now?
Not
No.
even,
No.
Wait, Squid. Does this mean the city's off the hook?
not even.
You somehow managed to shoot the tech gremlin.
You
Somehow
shot
managed-
The one person
You
not
shot-
on the show.
Colby, bounced off his breastplate and hit our tech assistant running the computer. That is the end of season 1 of The Hook. That is the end of our adventures here. That is the end of this chapter.
God.
But that's not the end of the Curse of the Crimson Throne. Not an entire book, the whole of the Edge of the Anarchy. That's just a hook.
Yes.
This is only the beginning of Corvosa's trouble. And this adventure has got 5 more chapters, all contained within this anniversary edition. The saga of the city of Corvosa and the aforementioned Curse of the Crimson Throne itself. Queen Ilios's reign is certainly off to a very interesting start.
Nope,
And
it's
now
dark.
Darren's got basically Zorro as competition for Fontaine. I've got no chance. I've got no chance.
Little did we
Rescued her from literal death, put her in literal death.
Put her,
This
captured
is a
her.
great story, honestly. A part of me is very sad that we're not going to run the rest of this.
How much of that book have you read? Have you
All
gone
of it,
through
I've
all
read a
multiple
decent
times.
chunk of it. I have not read much of the minutia. I know the general progression of how the story goes. I have read the absolutely insane ending. I have read how everywhere this will take you and the full arc. And man, I'm sad because this first book, I think more so than almost any adventure path that we've run or that I have read even, the first book sets up so much. Though it may seem like to you guys almost a disconnected series of adventures that you go on behalf of the Corvosan Guard, putting out fires as they come up, dealing with things to keep the city at peace. Almost everything that happened in that chapter comes back. Almost every person you've met, everything you did.
The Otyuke's
Relevant.
family
Wait,
comes
wait,
for revenge.
The Otyuke's
Did we flood the sewers by killing the Otyuke?
Not everything. You both went to the Otyuke.
Because we know it's the one thing that couldn't possibly come
The one
back.
thing, it's definitely just a random encounter. But the story of the party of Blackjack and Fontaine, of Field Marshal Croft.
I love her so much. I
So
just
many of the
want to
NPCs
date.
you've left. There's so much more that happens in this. I highly encourage if you're looking for an adventure to run. This anniversary edition is still it's still 1E. 1E's still cool. You can still run it as that. But Pathfinder Infinite's also got a pretty simple conversion guide that I found that gives you all of the monster stats and everything. That's the hard part for it too. It's not even hard. It's just the part that you have to like sit down and do. It's kind of time consuming. Is changing all the DCs into stat blocks and everything around it. You don't have to change the story. You don't have to change the bones of this. Everything still works real well, and this makes running it super simple. First official Paizo 2E conversion. Fun to run.
Success.
I enjoyed it. The hook will
yes.
return in a couple of weeks with its second chapter. A new hook, a new saga we're going to undertake, a new adventure. Keep an eye on our socials at 2perception, number 2perception on Twitter, or you can join discord.gg/squiddish. I will just drop an emote in the Twitch chat if you're here because my name's freaking impossible to spell. Oh, you put the whole link in there. Fantastic. Good job.
Oh my god, that's a good point. Does Lamb come back again?
Where we talk about a lot of stuff. Rolf Lamb
Rolf.
definitely has more of a role to play in this campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I was more talking
I'm sure
about
he'll be
senior.
I'm sure Rolf will be super chill about the fact that we just like went through
Murdered-
his whole house and
and
killed
murdered his
everyone.
father.
Very happy
Twice.
about
We
it.
murdered his father
He
twice.
did murder his father twice.
And I made sure that there was no revenge.
Can we go for 3? We burned him before. That didn't seem to help.
Oh, I made
you
sure
all
it was extra
for
crispy
being
this
here.
time.
Thank you for joining us for this journey. It's been an absolute blast. I hope you've all enjoyed it as well.
Yes.
This is such a freaking good adventure, Pat.
Yes.
I want more.
I want more.
It wasn't what we had planned to do after Age of Ashes initially, so I'll admit when I started the prep, I wasn't super enthused. But the more I read of it, the more I set it up, I actually freaking love this book.
It was a good time.
I
It
want
was
It was
fun.
actually really compelling.
I love this story.
We'll see you all in a couple of weeks with a new chapter. We might put a one-shot in there between then just to keep things flowing on the channel, but we are pretty certainly not going to be here next week, taking at least a week off as we reconfigure some things and hopefully come back with an even better, new and improved show with even newer, unpredictable, unimaginable technical issues. Enjoy the rest of your weekends, everybody.
Android Wizards.
This hasn't been all of the Curse of the Crimson Throne, but for now,
Rogues.
it's been the hook.
Now.
Goblin Shuffle.